And we're live.
Okay, here we go. The following is the agenda for the regular meeting of the Pompton Lakes Redevelopment Agency. The meeting is to be held in the municipal building at 25 Lenox Avenue on Thursday, April 30th, 2026, beginning at 7:30 p.m. Formal written advance notice as required by the NJSA 10-4-1 has been provided of this meeting at least 48 hours in advance of today, giving the time, date, and location, and to the extent known at the time the agenda of this meeting. Such notice stated that formal action may or may not be taken. This meeting will be video recorded and will be broadcasted for later viewing for the public. The notice was posted in the bulletin board outside the office of the municipal clerks reserved for this and other similar announcements. Number 2, provided to the record, the newspaper designated by the Borough Council to receive such notices. And 3, filed with the Borough Clerk. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Roll call, please.
Ms. Novak?
Here.
Mr. Sinky?
Here.
Mr. Ross?
Here.
Mr. Kimberlin? Mr. Lavasi?
Here.
Mr. Presta?
Here.
Councilman Venon?
Here.
And we have Mayor Sarah,
Here.
Mr. Dominic,
Here.
Ms. Russell, and our engineer, Ms. Loudis. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, and
It's okay.
okay, anybody in regards to correspondence, we have 2 memos from Elizabeth Brandis. One with the adopting the borough's affirmative marketing plan for affordable housing units, and 2, adopting 4th round affordable housing spending plan. Anyone have any questions regarding that or discussion? Okay. Okay, so then we will go on to the minutes. We have our minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, anyone second the motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, very good. So we have Mark's going to second the motion.
And Matt?
I was the first.
Hold on, I don't know, he's no, so can you second?
He was
Yeah,
at the meeting.
he can move in second, he can't vote on it if he wasn't at the meeting, but you can move in second a motion.
He was here.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, that's
got,
fine.
he got sworn in that night.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Okay. Presta?
It was a while back.
Okay. Does everybody,
Is there any
I'd say roll
discussion?
call,
or-
just in case people weren't here.
Okay,
okay, roll call. Ms. Novak?
present, or not present, here, I mean.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Sinky?
Yes.
Mr. Sinky?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Kimberlin is absent. Mr. Lavasi?
Yes.
Mr. Presta?
Yes.
And Councilman Venon?
Yes.
Okey-doke.
Okay. Okay, so now we have the bills that we've been voting on for the past couple of meetings that we've had. So we have, anyone have any questions? We have $25 for general matters in January. Legal fees for, I guess that's Meridia?
Yes.
Okay, the Meridia project for $202.50. General matters in March 2026 for $259. And legal fees for this, the Pompton Smith properties for $1,225. Anyone have any questions? Or the $1,225, is that just standard legal fees for
For
review?
review of everything that's come in with the agreement and the plans and the correspondence been going back.
Okay,
Generally
very-
what that is.
okay, thank you
And then
for
the next
that.
page
I'll-
is Colliers.
I'll make a motion to approve that and the engineering professional services from Colliers.
Okay.
Or did I
Second,
miss that one?
No, it's just.
Oh, it's over there, thank you.
I'll second.
Beck?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have to do a roll call for that, or just all of?
It can be all in favor.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, so the executive director's report, do we have anything?
Do not have anything at this time, Chairwoman.
Okay, thank you. And then we are into the conceptual presentation. We don't have any. And formal presentation would be the Pompton Smith properties.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
eBay Malenik from the firm of Green Member Smith & Davis, here on behalf of Pompton Smith Properties for this formal presentation. It's good to see you all again and be before you. We are here on a revision. We're seeking an amendment to what this body had previously approved, which is both the concept of what you're going to see before you today, the redevelopment project, a redevelopment agreement, which this body previously also approved the substance of, and why we're here today is what I'm about to go into. So, as you may recall, this is a project that spans from Wanacue up and around Colfax, where most commonly known as where the ice cream store is. The project was approved and it included previously 57 units. We had as a requirement of or a condition of the approval, is we needed an amendment to the redevelopment plan for a number of provisions that are currently in the redevelopment plan for this subject property. After we got the approval from this body, we had subsequent communications with council, with the mayor, and there were concerns that were raised regarding the scale of the building, the height of the building. So rather than continue to go to the council and force a vote on an issue with people we understood were unhappy, we took a step back and said, let's revise this plan so that we know everybody in town is going to be satisfied with it. So what we did is we took an entire floor off. An entire level of the building has come down. 11 feet in height have come down. The unit count has come down. Now it is proposed to be 47 units. An additional change, and an unfortunate change for the developer here, is that when we first proposed this project, we were operating under the third round rules of affordable housing, which, as you may recall, and as the mayor did a fantastic job during those negotiations, you had very favorable and attractive provisions for developers, which could include up to no more than 10% of the units as a set aside, and 7% of that could be paid, or 3%, I think, 3% could be satisfied as a payment in lieu. We're now operating in a new world, in the fourth round rules. So of those 47 units that we're proposing, we now had to increase our affordable housing allocation as well, which we are able to do at this size. In addition, as you may recall, if you were here, we had significant back and forth with this body over the amount of retail space that was going to be included. Despite our lowering the building and reducing the unit count, we are maintaining 5 different units of retail at considerable sizes. So we think we keep what this board ultimately was satisfied with on the retail side. So what we're doing here tonight is we're asking for you to reopen your prior approval and approve the project as currently designed. We are going to, if that meets your approval, then we're going to subsequently ask for you to adopt a resolution approving a redevelopment agreement, a modified redevelopment agreement with this scope, with recommendations to be made to the council for the approval of 3 things. Number 1, the redevelopment plan amendments that are going to be articulated tonight. 2, the financial agreement, the pilot that we're not going to get into tonight. We previously got into all that, and you previously recommended it, and we're proposing the same terms, obviously, just at less units. And 3, and importantly, an easement agreement. For us to develop this, it requires access to the lower level parking on site through the pond hole. We've met with, obviously, the mayor. We've met with your municipal engineer on this as well as your municipal attorney. And the proposal is to provide no specific meets and bounds for this easement through the pond hole, a general vehicular access, meaning that there's no prohibitions whatsoever on the municipality to future develop the site with a garage or any other building. You're going to still have vehicular access in some form, and so long as we have access to the rear, that's what we're proposing. We're obviously also proposing to compensate the municipality on that. If it is so approved, it would be based on the appraised value, and so the municipality would compensate it for that, as well as the spaces currently in the pond hole that would be lost for that entrance, and I think Collier has estimated that to be 3 spaces. So that would come at the council level, that appraisal and all that, but that is what the proposal is. So to my right is the project engineer, Bob Weissman. We'll start with his testimony, and I'll ask to have him sworn in.
I wanted to state something real quick.
Yeah.
Just on the recommendation of a pilot or financial agreement, there's a lot of new members, and a financial agreement, you guys don't approve that. It would be a recommendation to the governing body, because that's an agreement with them. The basis for a pilot, payment in lieu of taxes, is that the finances are such that it requires a tax break for the pilot. For new members to do it, it would be my, you might want to speak with me and Glenn, but also provide some level of information, a pro forma or something for them to be able to see, not wave around. It's not good, they can review it. But if you want them to take a position, make a recommendation. Since there are new people, I think there ought to be a new, or at least some justification for them to base that on.
And that's fine.
In between now and
We've
when-
never given a pilot presentation to this body, but we have supplied the materials, and Mr. Dominic has reviewed them and made recommendations, and I'm happy subsequent to this meeting, if we have your approval on the project, to update those pro formas and provide that information to Mr. Brewer and to Mr. Dominic, that at the next meeting he can present their recommendations to you. But they should be in line with what this body previously reviewed and Mr. Dominic recommended, but for, obviously, it's less units, so there'll be less revenue. But for the new members, in addition to what Mr. Brewer said, it's not just a tax break for the developer, it's also a tax incentive for the municipality, because you end up earning and keeping more money than you would on traditional taxation, and I'm sure the mayor would be happy to share the experiences they've had with pilots thus far, and I assume in a positive way.
I just want to add, because we do have new members, and I know the old members understand, the pilot agreement is worked out with the administration and the council. It really has nothing to do with this body sitting here. You'll be made aware of what it is, obviously, but the agreement that we use would be worked out among us. And like Steve was mentioning, we work it out to some be around the 10%, 12%, 9%, 8% over a 30-year time frame. So, and I can only use the Meridian building as an example. The taxes that were paid on the property to us at the time before it was built were $26,000. The first year of the pilot, when it's 80% filled, will be $350,000, escalating up to $1 million after 30 years. So just that's a quick brief thing about a pilot and where it comes from, but that would come from the council.
And that's 30, for 30 years, and then it
That's,
goes back to
it could be
traditional.
0 to 30 years. It could be 0 to 30 years, and it's variety, and they have the final negotiation on the percent. You said a percentage. The way a pilot is determined is the revenue that it brings in, so if it's rental, and there's some specifics on defining, but the revenue that comes in, you pay a set percentage of that. Instead of taxes, in lieu of taxes, you pay a percentage.
But you asked a good question, because that was the discussion at the council level with our attorneys. And they recommend all the time at least a 30-year pilot, and anything less doesn't work for both sides.
Okay.
So we had a long discussion about that, actually.
Yeah, and I was involved in that with the Sujin property, and municipality smartly brought in Phoenix Advisors, is that still your reason? Who will represent the township in those negotiations. So our ask specifically is going to be our proposal. We're not going to negotiate that with this body. They're going to do a good enough job negotiating that at the council level.
So hold them up to the fire for mine.
They sure do. So, going back to Mr. Weitzman, Mr. Brewer, I'll ask that you swear him in.
Sure. Please raise your right hand, state your name, spell your last.
Robert Weissman, Weissman.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you'll give for this agency this evening will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. Weissman has previously testified in this matter. I don't know if you would like him to re-qualify himself, or...
We've had a tradition of saying that they're qualified and they're testifying, but it's not a hearing where they're going to find the truth. I'm very happy that I think he ought to give the members the benefit of his experience, but it's not technically required.
Why don't we do that, yes.
I got my master's degree in civil engineering from New Jersey Institute of Technology. I'm a licensed professional engineer and land surveyor in New Jersey. I've been practicing civil engineering primarily in the field of site plan subdivision work in northern New Jersey and Bergen County and Passaic County. I've been qualified many times as such.
I think they would recognize him as having expertise.
Well, I was going to, so I know Bob's old school, but we have them on here, right, loaded. So if you could just show me how to do it.
Okay.
To use it, we can use the screen. So where would I go to his
You
plans?
can just, close that, and it should have a file. Oh.
See, I pressed one thing and I screwed it up. All plans are deleted.
No. Here. I can't see that.
Yeah,
Let me go over here. No, no.
Just watch that wire.
Yes. Let me go over here. Great. I want to be on TV. Okay, so you have a folder right here, 201 YQ. And then here it is. Did you want this part?
The engineering plans, yeah.
God, it's so slow. This, right? Okay, and then you can play around closing this out and then do however.
That's, you know, that's the architecture.
That's the architecture.
Oh, that's the
plans.
architectural plan? Okay. And then and go back to
Site
This
plan,
one.
bottom one, I think it should-
this one? Oh,
Yes.
site plan, okay. All right, and now you, here you go.
Probably zoom in there,
Okay, you just minimize it in the next picture you got. Keep it on TV.
Yeah, so, all right, Mr. Weissman, you've been in the engineer on this project since its inception and in the previous iteration that was approved, correct?
Correct.
And you were asked to make revisions to the site plan consistent with my introduction and the reduction in size and scale of the building?
That's correct.
Okay. We are looking at your site plan. Can you identify the revision date on this plan?
Sure, the last revision date is 3/6/26, and the original date 2/7/22, that's when we started on this.
Okay. Why don't you walk the board through what the revisions from the prior approved version were?
Sure. The original plan had, I'll start with like the parking and access, it's primarily what my plan is about. We had, on the original plan, we had some parking on the, it's called the first floor level, which is the street level, with entry coming in from Colfax, and then we had an exit initially out to Lakeside Avenue. That is eliminated on this plan as we have now. The first floor plan is totally either retail space or residential space, again with 5 good-sized retail spaces. And I'm trying to see how many number of apartments we have in this level. Total of 5 spaces, apartments on this level, fitness center, a community center, and again, the 5 retail spaces. The lower level down, it would be entered through the pothole that was discussed. That goes in, that's primarily all parking. There we have a total of parking spaces, parking spaces required with this new layout. We have 47 units, total of 71 spaces for the apartments, 21 spaces required for the retail. Total required is 84 spaces, total provided is 39 spaces. There's a 15% EV charging, 11 provided, and then there's an EV credit for 10% for 8 spaces credit.
What percentage are you using for parking?
For the required?
Yeah.
I believe it's 1.4.
1.5 on this.
1.1, okay.
It's 1.5 on this one.
1.5 is the current. Right. What we're proposing as one of the revisions to the redevelopment plan, I believe, is 1.4 plus the licensing that we'll get into in a second from the file.
Can
So,
I jump in and ask a quick question? Are you considering a shared parking between the two, or are you simply adding them up? Because I believe there's a mathematical error in the total required, which I had pointed out in the letter. I just wanted to bring that up because...
okay, so we are going to be making that up in the pothole count, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, so the proposal is that we're providing 39 on site,
Yes.
and we have to pick up the rest from the pothole in consultation with members of the administration. It's our understanding that the spaces are available.
So just again, for the new members, we got the pothole that has about 206 spots in the back. We had set aside a bunch for the theater, when the theater was working, now the theater is gone. So we do have some extra spots available in there. I can't say what the council, we haven't discussed it, but I know I've spoken to my clients and with the administration that we would think about selling them spots.
So 43, is it a 43 spots you would need?
24.
24.
Because we're getting the EV credits.
Correct.
So whatever that number is, it's around 25 or 24, whatever it is, that's something we would talk about. There has been no discussion about it, but we will discuss it, and there would be a monthly charge to the town for those spots.
Which is consistent with what you've done on other projects, including Musamessi's project, whoever
Anything that's
else.
being built on Wanacue right now, or has been built, has purchased some spots, from 5 to 17.
Do we know how many spots we have down there totally? And
Right now, we're using about 69 that are paid for. That leaves about 140 open. And again, that's taking it into the shared parking concept. So those spots are open to shoppers during the day, even the ones we're talking about now that they'd be purchasing. There's no assigned spots for anyone. No one gets assigned spots.
And is that including the Meridian?
Yes, that includes.
Okay, so 69 have been paid for.
I think Meridian, if I remember correctly, was, most of that's on site, and I think they purchased
A few,
22.
yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
And Joe, and WC's CGM, I think was 16 maybe, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then I think the first project was maybe 12 or 14
Okay.
that they purchased.
Okay.
Lakeside?
Lakeside.
No, they built the 8 on the street. They didn't do anything potholed, I'm pretty sure.
No, they have some in there.
Yeah, I think they have,
Was
yeah.
that subsequent because they were having parking problems? Maybe that's what it was, okay.
Can I ask why the 1.5, I think our ordinance is 1.75 for a one
Not for the
bedroom.
redevelopment plan, I'm pretty sure.
That ordinance doesn't apply to the redevelopment plan?
The redevelopment plan has its own parking standards, though I don't remember by
Okay.
memory what they are.
So our normal standard for most of the projects we were doing was 1.4 to 1.5, that was our normal standard. People came in at 1.2, I can tell you the previous projects are 1.3, and this board said, no, you have to increase it to the 1.4, 1.5.
Okay. Oh, got it.
Yeah, I mean, that's up to you guys to discuss.
Honestly, the only reason I ask is because we rolled in the higher parking standards into what you're working on for the,
I don't have
Revised.
parking standards in what I'm working on,
okay, maybe okay.
yeah.
And just as an FYI, when this was originally approved, the amendment was at a 1.4 ratio. So you can go ahead, Mr. Westman.
So the access for the pond hole, we'd be losing 3 spaces to come out into the pond hole area with the garage. That would be the sole access to lower level from the building. Inside, we have obviously elevators to access all the floors. There would be 4 levels of the apartments and the total over here. So we have 3, total of 5 units on the first floor. Second floor, we have 14. Third and fourth floor, we also have 14 for those 3 floors, with a total count of 47. We are no longer proposing access to Colfax Avenue. We will be proposing an access up to just into the pond hole, and the Lakeside Avenue access was eliminated, so there was a concern with the board as far as the traffic, the turning, et cetera, the movements there, and the school that accesses that area, so that's been eliminated.
So if we can look at the screen and just orient the board, especially the new members. So we're looking at the lower level here. This is the newly designed, and if I'm doing this right, there was an access onto Colfax right around here.
Yes, correct.
There was an access on Lakeside over here.
Correct.
Okay.
Those are
Both of those have been eliminated. So
That's
there's
correct.
no vehicular access directly to Colfax or Lakeside, which was a concern because there's an intersection right here. And it also did not help the street view, the aesthetics of the street view. So now all parking access is proposed to be through Pothole here. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
There are tandem spots, which is not uncommon in these type of developments for, because you get 1.5 or 2, for apartments, for one behind the other. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 8 sets of tandem spots.
Oh, so explain that.
And those are counted as 2 spots?
Oh, yes, well, I want to know.
Yes, we do count those 2 spots.
And how do you sell those, though?
So they're counted as 2 spots, and the redevelopment agreement that we proposed has mandated that each lease for the 47 units is guaranteed 1 space. Those tandems would be sold in connection with the unit that wants a second space, and those tandem spaces would have to be to the same unit.
So then those people would have actually 2 spots where everybody else has 1.
Yeah, well, we're doing, that's where the 0.4 and the 1.4 ratio comes. Guarantees everybody 1, right, and the 0.4 is extra for those who want to purchase extra. And if they want to purchase extra, they're going to be assigned the tandem spots first, if they have two cars to 1.
I'll ask you, I'm not very familiar with the tandem parking. Is that something that's being used a lot?
We've seen it. We've seen it in commercial properties too, where they require valet parking to assist with that, but it's not
The
like
key is, as long as they're the same unit, then they're in charge of backing, because if they're different units, then you're going to have a car blocked in. So they have to be assigned to the same unit.
So not every unit, not every unit's gonna have parking within the building?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So you'll have like 23
30
units?
31 of the 57, or 47 will.
I think,
Well, 23 because of the 8, 16.
No, there's 39 on site.
Oh, okay, 39 on site. But 16, you have to, all right, you're gonna be eliminate 16 out of that.
8, because one of those tandem spaces will go to a unit.
Okay.
So the 8
Right.
that are behind and blocked in will be the second parking space for the
Okay.
unit to operate.
Okay,
So there's 31 independent parking spaces for 47 units.
right.
And then the other 17 will be in the pile.
And is there enough, again, I'm moving back to the engineer, with the tandem under the building, is there enough room to maneuver it while there's cars in there? Take a car out and then move another car in?
based on the minimum aisle space that they've given, the aisle widths, yes.
Okay.
So we're proposing sidewalks around the 3 sides of the building. We've got the utilities connected, water connections out to the existing water main in Colfax Avenue. There'll be potable water connection and a fire connection. We have ADA ramps on the corners of both Montague Avenue and Colfax with Lakeside. We're proposing tree wells, different tree wells with trees obviously along the frontage around the 3 sides. And there'll be some utility connection modifications down in the pond hole for the sanitary sewer, and we'll be tying the drainage from the building and the parking to the existing storm drainage system in the pond hole.
Okay, should we, no, we have this letter, should we be addressing the point by point?
No, you
Okay.
guys will go over that.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Colliers then?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
But-
we'll get, yeah.
Typically, the way I've done it, they do the whole presentation. and-
okay.
But you do it, right?
No, that's fine, I'd like to do a typical, that's fine.
Is this building completely coming down?
I'm sorry, yes.
The whole
Yeah,
building's coming down?
as you know, at one point, what we tried to do is evaluate structurally whether we can just keep the structure there and add on top. Our structural analysis proved that that was not going to be safe or effective to do.
And this is just throwing something out there. I'm always pushing for the larger sidewalks.
Yes.
On the new builds, they can build. And I understand it backs up to properties that we own, correct? Most of it. If some deal was worked out where we were to give you some space in the back, would you be able to push the building back a little bit?
There's no room for movement of the building itself. So we are right up to the property lines and all.
No, but I'm saying if we were to give you
So-
an easement on the property on the backside, which is ours.
Well, there's a building that is butted up against us.
Yeah, I don't know, that's what I don't know, right?
Yeah,
That's
so it
fine.
really can't be moved.
I know you're landlocked into this spot. I know.
What are the widths of the sidewalks?
We have them at, I believe, 8 feet.
8 feet, okay.
Is that what they are currently?
I believe so. Just looking to see if I have a number on it. I think I do.
I can tell you, if you look at the Meridian project now, when they put the sidewalks in, it does look more, to me, much larger in sidewalks than it did previous, because it's one piece, it's solid. It makes it a big difference on how it looked, if you can remember how it used to look with the buildings there. So I'm hoping that would have the same effect.
Well, it is wider.
Is it wide?
It is wider.
It's 10 foot, and it's 10 foot to the inside of the tree, and it's 13 feet to the curb.
Oh,
So it's significantly wider than
Okay, I
proposed
didn't know,
here.
that's what it is.
oh, that is.
And the 8-foot sidewalk width, it does look like that would only be Lakeside and Colfax.
Mhm.
The corner of Wanacue is like extremely tight.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that's
different
a
though,
little-
because you don't want a setback on the corner, because I think that lines up to the building next to it.
Well, you could,
Yeah. It's not, I would say it's misrepresentative to say that it's 8 foot consistent with the building.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that.
No, I know.
What I'm saying is if you were proposing to make it 8 feet on Wanacue, if it's not, that would require a step back from the frontage of the entire block.
on the corner, you could,
You could camp for that corner on the
yes,
ground level.
exactly.
Can do what?
You could camp for that corner on the ground level to make pedestrian area a little wider and still get all that space above.
Yeah.
And I think you'd have to ask the board, but I think the board would, because you're giving up a little retail, that was part of the argument, but maybe they would accept the fact that you're not only leaving that corner off, making it more space.
You're just angling it, right?
But you're
Yeah.
giving up a little retail,
Yes.
not a store.
The,
just-
the coffee shop is 1,400,
Right, I mean, that's something I would think is nice, but it would be up to you.
yeah. Safer, I would think.
I don't think we'd be opposed to that, as long as we can do it where it doesn't affect the upper levels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you would just build your normal up, it was just make the corner a little wider.
I think it could make a really nice entryway too, if you have that angle.
Well, that's the way it is now, but it's not grand.
Yeah, well, this is not the
angled.
proposed entryway though, this is just a story.
Like the old building
Oh,
is angled.
this would be, yeah.
So maybe what you want to do, Abby, is ask the board how they feel about that idea, so they can kind of incorporate that.
It would,
Okay,
yeah,
so do
the
it
trade-off,
all of
Madam Chairwoman, would be reduced retail space square footage.
Right, and how many square feet are we talking, do you think?
We're talking 20 square feet or
That's what I'm
something.
thinking.
I have to look to you people.
Yeah.
We have 14,000.
Does everybody understand and
Okay with that.
concur, or anybody have an idea, a thought?
I like the idea.
We like that idea. Okay, so we're gonna write that idea down.
So, and that's something you think you can incorporate it?
Yes, the coffee shop, we have shown the corners, 1,434 square feet, so they could reduce it by much.
Yeah, I think it'll make a nice look and make a little more, any more space I can get downtown, the better. Yeah, on the ground.
Just on the ground floor.
Yep. And that would be without a column, right?
No,
There'd be a column in the corner, yes.
because you need to preserve the corner for the upper levels.
You can't cantilever that much.
So there would be a column?
Yes,
There would
one
be a
column in the corner.
in the corner. So would that be
You'd have to walk around.
do you have to walk around the?
Or if you, yeah, it's open.
Small columns.
I mean, if I had a picture, I could show you. You've seen it probably
Okay.
before. And yeah, there's kind of a column on the corner and you can, if there was a door at that angle, you could
Right.
access from either side. And it wouldn't necessarily widen the sidewalk because people aren't gonna be going like in and around the column, but visually, it will make the sidewalk look bigger. I mean, in
It's
a
like a
perfect-
site triangle.
Yeah, it's kind of like a site triangle. I mean, in a perfect world, that would be, you'd be able to cantilever the upper floor, but I'm not an engineer to tell you.
So you can't cantilever?
I don't know.
It's
These
for 3 stores, I would suggest not, no.
Okay.
It's a
It's a
wall.
structural issue.
Oh, yeah.
But even having that column, I think, is better than not.
Yeah, I think it's very tight right there, otherwise.
Yeah.
You can try that.
So we'll try to engineer without the column, but if we need the column, we'll
Okay.
have to install the column.
There's ways to make a nicer column, you know.
Of course.
We don't just want a metal pole.
Corinthian, yes, I know.
I'm not gonna dictate your architectural style, but I don't know.
Maybe.
So I have a question for you, what you brought up about, I'm gonna ask the engineer, you said there was 3 spots gonna be taken from the Pompton. Are we agreeing with it? It's only 3 spots?
Well, I actually took that from, I think you're
From
right.
our
Oh,
letter, yes.
So the access that we lose is 3 spots.
3 spots.
So talking about the site plan, it might be worth considering the similar on-street parking that they did for Lakeside.
We had talked about that at
Match
previous
because you're now
meetings.
closing that driveway.
We had talked about that at previous meetings, and it was this board that rejected the street parking on that
There's
side.
no room.
But I think it's a room issue, but it's up to the body, the board here.
We do show on-street parking in Colfax, but that's the only place I think that we could
think.
So it could be accommodated.
There is there's on-street parking on
Lakeside.
Lakeside now.
Yeah.
Not that side, on Colfax.
And there, on both
There's on-street
sides.
parking on both
On
sides.
both
So
sides of
Colfax,
Lakeside.
So we're showing, if that's the side you're talking about, we're already showing that.
Well, on Lakeside.
There's no parking there because that's where the ice cream station is, and there's no parking in front of the ice cream station.
Right,
Correct. Because there's a driveway.
right,
No,
So-
because there's no room there.
right. Oh,
It's
just
too
because of
close
the
to the
angle?
corner.
I don't think that would be, yeah, I think that's,
It doesn't start until the first building after the ice cream
That's
station, the
true. We
parking.
can't park in front of the ice cream station currently.
And you're not counting any spots on Montague, Colfax,
But we could probably get one there.
I mean, my suggestion would be to consider changing the radius of this intersection, tightening the radius to match across the street.
No,
Putting in a bump out.
Lakeside and Colfax
Yeah,
intersection?
yeah.
And what, bring it, so it's a sharper?
Yeah, make a sharper radius
For what reason?
so that you could put a bump out, curb bump out, and continue the
So-
parking further to the
On-street
corner.
parking?
And you could
Isn't
potentially
the
get
issue
three
the-
spots
the-
that make up for
the
the 3 spots. at the
Distance
pothole.
to the intersection though?
That is, there is a restriction for that. You'd have to look at it. I think it's 25 feet. And it's primarily a concern on stop when you're going out of an intersection, not into an intersection. Honestly, the issue there is that radius is so big, you have speed issues.
Mhm.
People blowing, making that turn very fast, going to the high school. If you tighten up that radius, you could potentially get a bump out there, bring 2 or 3 more parking spaces in. You have to look at it, right? I'm looking for it to be, asking for it to be looked at.
We can look
It
at it.
would
I mean,
offset-
It sounds
It would offset your 3 spots
very
potentially.
expensive, but it may offset whatever we have to pay to take those 3 spaces away. So it's worth looking at.
And your plans also don't include
Yeah.
spots that are open to the public across the street of the other project, Lakeside. Correct. Because that's open parking, that's not their parking. So we're not using that as a number in your numbers, right?
Correct.
That's great.
And if it wasn't said before on the retail, the applicant has committed to making sure that all current tenants will have the option to lease first.
And the retail, you didn't tell the numbers, it's the same, retail side?
5?
This is 5 units, but Bob, if you want to.
Yeah, I'll just walk you through. We start over on the left side, the intersection of Wanacue and Colfax is a coffee shop with 1,434 square feet, which comes down by like 30, 40 square feet with that cut corner. So that would still be, height 1,300. Next retail space number 2 is 1,066. Retail space number 3 is 968 square feet. Retail space number 4 is 1,494. Retail space number 5 is 1,257. All pretty
Those are
generous.
similar to what they were now. Those are similar to what they were.
Yes. So if there are no other questions for the engineer?
Anyone have any questions for the engineer? Okay, and so, should we go through the letter?
Oh, wait, I have a question for the engineer. Can I ask?
Yes.
Is it just a leftover notation where on Colfax and,
The depressed curve?
yeah,
Yeah. so-
okay, good. Okay.
Just open up the starter.
Would you like to go through the letter?
Absolutely.
Thank
Some of the comments are from Kristen's too, so we'll start with number 1. On the site plan, this was the question I asked earlier about the parking requirement. I was simply reading your chart wrong, in a sense. When you add up the 71 spaces and the 21, you get 92, and you were showing total required 84, but you are taking an 8-space credit for the EV, so that's fine. Finished floor elevations and sidewalks, I know you're still, moving along with the process, but
Right.
it would be good to see entryway elevations at all the
Similar
retail
to,
spaces.
everything's pretty much on grade. Fortunately, it's relatively flat in front. But the architect's still gonna be working on the finished elevations once you get, farther along, but it's gonna be similar to what the prior, I think the total building height we have is, 57 feet proposed.
Yeah, I think I read that, to me, 57.
Which is listed as a variance
57.
request.
It was 68.
Does it require a variance, right?
It does.
It does, yes. 45.
Well,
Needs an amendment to the,
I'm just going through, a lot of these, I think, are,
I tried to address it throughout our testimony.
comments too that you might be more familiar. The site plan needs to reflect, we're saying, the layout design of the street level, upper level garage area. We're a little confused over the parking arrangement because it looks like the two levels are kind of overlaid on each other. I think it's just a graphical issue. This is comment number 5.
Yeah, I tried to disseminate between the two, and I think we've got it pretty well covered.
I'm sorry.
I'm just looking, I'm just thinking out loud, I'm looking to see what we have that might be overlapping. Looks like the first floor, plan is pretty clean. The lower level, we got some cross hatching, and some existing conditions underneath, which, we can just, freeze or remove the plan to clean it up a little bit. I think each one is pretty, straight as far as what's being proposed on each level.
Okay. We also noted that there was no proposed streetscape design, but, for someone more familiar.
I mean,
with the
some of
plan,
these
is
things
that-
are, understand that you're not going to flesh them out until you have the confidence that you're going to be able to go to the planning board. So to some extent, some of these comments are kind of preparing you for what we will expect down the road. Yeah, so like the proposed streetscape design, we'll be looking for that at the time that you are going to the planning
Can I
board.
jump in there, and she brings up a very good point, it's something that we missed in the waiting project. We didn't have the streetscape put back the way its mission was, and luckily we caught it right before they were gonna cement it down, they were actually just gonna pour cement in the sidewalk, in between our brick that's down already.
Okay.
And luckily enough, they agreed to put the brick in, it's something that all the boards kind of missed.
This does show brick, so
Right, so.
we're on the right track.
We're on the right track.
Yeah, I think we got to that point in the eye, so it's a carryover from there, so I think we do have the, so it's the concrete and then the brick along with.
Right, it follows what's there now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's what's shown here, so. And the trees are obviously whatever the chief commission.
That's a whole discussion we're having right now, trees, so.
Okay, I guess one of the older comments as well had to do with the interior garage areas, that they would need some form of drainage.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that that's going to be flushed out with,
Yeah, we do show some inlets in the garage area, for obviously runoff from the cars. It's, and then obviously that is again being connected to the drainage system in the pond hole. We have a trench drain at the entrance from the pond hole where it gets into the building. So that should be the extent of the drainage. And obviously the roof drains coming down will also tie into that. They would be all internal within the building, downspouts going from the roof.
okay, and all that would be shown on a future set of drawings,
And
For our preliminary and final site plan, yes.
of course. Also, the next comment kind of follows through its drainage calculations, just to confirm the capacity of the downstream pipe. That's part of the planning board submission. Next, we talk about the adequacy of the proposed tandem parking. I think this is one of your comments.
Yeah, I mean, the board has already spoken a little bit about this. If and when we get to the point where we're going to be amending the redevelopment plan, we'll probably write some language like up to X percentage of parking spaces can be tandem, so that we're not seeing a rearrangement that like, we have all tandem spots or something like that, but we can work that out when we get there.
I think you may have to, in your note, I think you started a draft of this under the prior
I think I did,
iteration, and we just have to update it.
but, yeah.
Yeah, because if you want a recommendation from these guys, they ought to see exactly what their, a list of every specific thing.
Which is attached to the draft redevelopment agreement. However, I believe there was one in the review letter that picked up that we didn't have, which was the aisle width from 24 feet down to 23.75.
So you had 3 inches off.
Yeah.
23.75, yeah.
Can I do it?
Yeah, so I did write something a while ago. Do I remember the details of it? No, but it's saved on my
How dare you,
computer.
yeah.
Well, yeah, it's saved and we'll tweak it as needed.
So let me just ask, so we're hearing you now, are they gonna come back here if,
No,
No,
no.
we're agreeing to make these as conditions for when, because remember, this has to go to the council, then it goes to the planning board. And as you heard from your planner, these are the details that are going to be applicable. at
You're
that.
basically.
This board decides if they're
Whatever
going
we
to come
wanna
back or
pick.
not. So
okay, that's,
they
yeah.
can propose that, but if you want to see what that column and that sidewalk looks like, you can say,
Okay.
come back, and they can do it on the same night that they vote. So you don't have to hold them up, but
Okay.
that's your decision.
Okay,
But in terms of the amendments to the redevelopment plan specifically, like tonight, you're gonna say to me, well, if you choose to.
right, yeah.
You may say to me, Kristen, we're okay with them having, a height of X as opposed to what's currently permitted of 45 feet.
Okay,
And then you've charged me with making that amendment, and I will do so, and then that will be given to the governing body and the planning board. If you want to see a draft of that document that I write, of course, there's no reason for you not to, but
Okay.
it's really, once you've given that direction,
And it
the
can-
adoption and recommending of zoning is really in the hands of the governing body and with the recommendations of the planning
And it can
board.
be a very simple one. It can be a recommendation to draft amendments to the redevelopment plans that make this conform. So you don't
Yeah.
have to list everything, say when you look at. If you're happy what you see and the heights and everything, you can tell her,
Yeah.
make this conforming, and that's enough. That would be
Yeah.
enough,
And in
I
fact,
believe, for
That's
yours.
better in case, so that if we notice
Yes,
something
Find
later.
another 3 inches. Yeah.
That's a great point.
And I just want to remind everybody, again, this already went to the council as presented now and passed, went through you guys and it went to us. They're making amendments to that change, but we've already approved the previous project.
we meaning the council,
The
or,
council.
okay,
So they were still working out, well, they were still working out some issues, but we've discussed this. We've had conversation on this at the council level about what we want to do. They didn't present because they wanted to change the plan because of the parking, it was a parking situation. So now they've done that. If you make your changes, and everything goes good and everything's well, then they're gonna present to the council also, and then they'll make their recommendations too. So, there's 2 steps involved for that. You're the first step, we're the second, planning board's third.
okay.
There was another question I had about, again, we're going back, has this been brought to the MUA?
I believe we did.
It was brought-
We did a discussion with them.
It was brought to the MUA, we have capacity, we do not yet have an agreement, which would be the next step of
That's
this
my
body
question.
freeze.
You did talk about capacity.
Yes.
And that's actually the next comment in the letter. I don't think it's, unless, of course, the board would like me to go over it, I don't think any of the other comments really affect zoning or development plan or anything like that. They're minor technical in nature that can be addressed in the submission to the planning board. So, Madam Chairwoman, if you'd like me to go through any particular question, I can, rather than go through
I'll
everything.
defer to anyone on the board that would like to.
Is there a reason you guys pulled the green roof?
The agreement?
Yeah,
green roof.
Maybe that's a question for the
You can talk to the architect.
Okay, no problem. Could there be consideration for some type of subsurface stormwater storage? Just for the roof drains? We're just a town that floods, When you get 2 inches of rain and
I've
the
heard.
pond hole has 3 feet of water in it,
Yeah,
so
understood.
we're not doing our job if we don't push you guys a little bit on stormwater.
We can, first I'd like to see what the ground is like, to see if we
Yeah,
have
understood.
capability to, but there's no reason we can't just put it overflow out to the, put it some more stem.
That's my thought, just so the dry wells
We'll take
under the
a look at
building.
it. But again, first I'd like to do some holes to see if it's even feasible.
Okay. I would like that to at least be a recommendation, that be considered. If it's gonna go to the planning board. No, just stormwater, some type of stormwater retention,
Okay.
infiltration pit, something under the building,
To control the large diameter pipe to control out.
just to control the roof drainage.
Okay.
Now, this board, and I learned this myself, because my building inspector called, this board at the time we did Meridian, which was so long ago, on Babcock, decided to only put the width of a sidewalk in, and then put greenery, grass, and trees in there, and not make it cement from the building to the curb. I don't know what you're presenting here, is it just a curb?
We lose your 8 feet.
Well, that's why I want you to, for that project, for whatever reason, at that time, they decided a walking sidewalk with green grass between the sidewalk and the walls and trees. This is having all cement, larger sidewalk, but there's a little more space at Meridian too on the sidewalk.
Right.
So just keep that in mind.
The Lakeside Commons or the other apartment, but they have,
I don't know. Maybe
they have green space between the foundation and the sidewalk.
Oh, okay, so then it would match, okay. Then.
Yeah, I mean, so do we have room for that in this project?
Well, personally, I don't think it's a good idea to introduce any drainage. If you just talk about green, I think that would probably work. Again, that would reduce the width of the 8-foot sidewalk. That's the only way we could.
Is that a hard thing, that we have to keep that 8-foot sidewalk?
I think what you guys want to decide is, do you want to give up the width of an 8-foot sidewalk for the greenery?
Right.
That's what you guys got to decide.
And it can be done, it doesn't really impact much on our end, it just, I would suggest not putting any drainage because there's a basement right adjacent.
So do we have a cantilever here on this, I mean, is it somewhat cantilevered on this? It doesn't, just I guess these 3 bump outs are cantilevered, is that it?
Well, I'm gonna have to defer to the architect, and that's,
Oh, that's an architecture, okay.
yes.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
I will see you first, so I'll defer to the architect.
Okay. Any other questions that the board wants to address for the engineer? No? Okay, so we'll be.
It's hard because it's all related, right? The engineer and building layout and configuration, right? And there's the 2-foot alleyway, right between the 2 buildings. Were there prior discussions? I don't know where the board.
Was that right? Is that right
previously
here?
on that
They
alleyway.
they don't own that alleyway.
Correct.
The other business owns that alleyway. I mean, what are you suggesting?
I was suggesting they push back their corner 2 feet. When the next person comes in, they push their corner back 2 feet, and now we have a 6-foot alleyway.
And so we have access to the pothole.
I can say the town is not in favor of alleyways because they cause issues with people hanging out in them and graffiti and you have to have locked fence on them and then involve the opening and closing. The only issue we have with real graffiti right now is on the side streets, which is Babcock, on the theater, and the alleyway. So I'm not in favor of an alleyway, but that's up to you guys.
So how does somebody access your building, like retail, to the pond hole? Is there easy access?
From our building to where?
To the pond hole?
Be to the lower level, right?
Yeah, that's the only access to the
But
garage.
that's open to like the public, not just the.
No, that's the garage door, I believe it's gonna be closed.
I thought your question was from the building, so the
No,
public's
like
not.
if I was to go into one of these shops and I parked in the pond hole, how
From
would I get?
consumer
Walk
There's
up there,
stairs,
you walk
internal
around.
stairs that have public access, yes, for people to go to the.
Right here.
Oh, the resident, no.
Yeah, there's stairs.
Where'd my cursor go? These stairs here.
There you go. And it goes up and down there's a public hallway.
Is it, oh, right,
So this is the street level. These are the retail stores.
right.
This would be the stairwell that empties into the parking lot
Oh,
on the
okay.
lower level.
And then there's a hallway that leads out. to
Down
the
here.
cul-de-sacs.
So most people do not use the alleyway to go to the pond hole.
Okay.
If they're gonna shop in those shops, a lot of businesses have a rear door that they allow them in and out of to go, if they're parked in a pond hole, it usually involves steps, going down steps. I'll use Steve Colombo store as an example. You
Right.
park in the back, you
Yeah.
go down the stairs and you're in the pond hole.
Okay.
Or you walk around.
And that's what those steps would, I could. go
Yes, there's a
down.
small lobby there, it's labeled, and then the stairs go up to the first floor level.
But then that'll open up into the residential space, won't it?
Yeah, you can enter, I believe, you can go out from there to this corridor that goes out towards Colfax, and then I think that's where you get the access to the retail stores.
Wait, if the,
But my point is that if that stair is accessible to the public, then the public has access to it.
Yeah, there needs to be a door, so that can't happen.
I'm going to defer to the architect.
I don't think there's access from.
Probably not. We're gonna get the
Parking
architect.
lot level.
Clear up our mistakes.
Okay, anyone else for the engineer? Okay, seeing,
He's going to remain in the room, so
Okay.
if you got more
Okay.
questions, I'm sure
Okay.
he's going to come back.
thank you.
Run away. Thank you.
Run away.
I am calling up our project architect, Yogesh Mistry from Mistry Design, and ask that he be sworn in.
Please stand, raise your right hand, state your name, spell your last.
Yogesh Mistry, Yogeshmistry.
Do you swear or affirm? Testimony you'll give before this agency this evening will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
These ones first.
Sure.
You want to control it? Mr. Mistry, you've testified before this body on multiple occasions on different applications, but as with Mr. Weissman, if you could give the board the benefit of your qualifications.
Sure. I'm a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey. I have been since 2000. I have a practice in Salt Lake, New Jersey, where we provide architectural services for various types of projects, including multifamily, office buildings, hotels, retail, so forth. I have been in business for over 20 years.
And you were the architect in the original approval,
Yes, I was.
and you were asked to make revisions subject to the reduced size that we've been discussing.
Yes.
Before I ask you to go through the changes, I don't want to leave anybody in suspense. Can you clear up the confusion over the stairwell?
Yeah, it's not a public stair. It's the two fire stairs are meant for the internal residential population.
Okay.
So then the question that was posed is if you were, I think the chairwoman asked if you were.
If we were shopping in one of these shops and we parked in the pond hole, how could we get to them?
Yeah, you would have to go around. I mean, there's an access on Lakeside. There's that kind of that walkway and kind of a driveway / sidewalk, or you could kind of cut through this little alley that.
Maybe you just kind of shimmy through it.
Yeah, I mean, it does pinch down to 4 or 5 feet, I guess. I don't know
2 feet.
exactly.
24 inches.
Is it
24
that?
inches.
Okay. You'll be skinny.
Sideways. All right, so with that clarified, why don't you walk the board through the revisions that were made?
I just think what you mentioned, and maybe it's something you want to think about, is in your retail spaces, there might be a way to put an outside entrance to the pond hole from inside the retail.
No, but there's an elevation difference, though. We're up at the street level, and the pond hole is, like 11
So,
feet
I
down.
mean, it would be to the retail's advantage if they had someone where they could park in the back and get right into the retail in the back.
Yeah, I think, maybe for employees, they might give them access, because, there is a door, there's, like, if you go to the lower level, there's a door in the back, but it would be locked. It's not meant for anyone to just walk in, but let's say you're an employee, then I'm sure they could kind of
So
coordinate
there's no fire
access.
doors from the retail out to the parking lot?
No. But, if employees were given access and they parked in the pond hole, they could go through this door and then take the elevator up, which kind of gets them back to that main level.
I think that even if employees are given that right, you need a second set of doors to that residential corridor. Like, nobody should be able to get into that corridor if they don't live there.
Yeah, we had
Well,
discussed.
yeah, there is a secondary.
No, but from the elevator. Are we talking about the elevator that's at like that bend in the hallway?
Yeah.
So if you're saying that an employee of one of these stores could go up that elevator, there needs to be a door so that they can't go like to the right into that residential area.
Yeah, we could add a door, you're right. I mean,
It's just not secure.
Yeah. It wasn't meant, this issue just came up because someone asked about the public access, but I'm throwing out there employees. If we don't provide access for employees, then the only people in that corridor should be residents.
Right, I don't have a preference as to what employees are allowed to do. All I'm saying is if they're allowed to do that, there needs to be another door.
So restated, the condition would be if non-residents are permitted access to that, there needs to be a secure door.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree there, yeah. Okay.
And a way of limiting the elevator access and the stair access to the upper floors too.
Well, those
They're
would
gonna
be
go
all
up.
locked.
Yeah.
Or for egress only.
Yeah.
It'd be locked from the outside.
Yeah, like you should need
Key to get up to the upper
fob to
floor.
go up to those floors.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the intention.
And is that, just because I'm dealing with this Meridian, is that the fire escape for people in the retail space?
No, so
Everything's coming out front?
yeah, the retail spaces there's 5 retail spaces, they're all generally small, and they'll have a fire door right onto the street side.
On the street side.
Yeah,
You don't need anything?
You don't, no. Based on the square footage of each space, no, you don't need that. So, yeah, the 2 fire stairs are strictly for the residents.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to the changes, I think many of them were discussed, but the main reduction has been the fifth, or the upper floor has been taken off and lowered down to have a reduction by 1 floor. The total number of units is down to 47 units. The breakdown of the units now is 33 1-bedroom, 12 2-bedroom, and 2 3-bedroom, total of 47. Of those, 10 units are COA, and then the COA breakdown is 2 1-bedroom, 6 2-bedroom, and 2 3-bedrooms. And that breakdown is really just a mandated ratio, so of the 10.
And what's the square footage on those?
So
Some of them are large.
the minimum square footages of the 1-bedrooms are 750, I think it's actually 755. The 2-bedroom, the minimum is 1,000, and the 3-bedroom, the minimum is 1,400.
And that meets all our requirements?
Yes. Exceed the requirements, yeah.
Square footage requirements for apartments?
It's 750. It's 750 in redevelopment.
The 2 bedrooms needs, I think it's slightly off. I think it's on the list.
That's what I think, that's what I'm bringing that up.
Oh, so the 2-bedroom is slightly off.
I think mine's 1,100.
Yeah, it's very slightly off. But they're all consistent with, like, if you look at, what Yogesh was referencing before was Uniform Housing Affordability Controls, UHAC. They set the standards for how many 1-bedrooms, 2-bedrooms, 3.
Right.
They all also, under the December 15th most recent amendments, have minimum sizes.
Sizes, okay.
And these all far exceed. Like, for example, the 1-bedrooms, I think is 525.
Oh, okay.
We're at 750, so.
Since we're on the ground floor, I'm calling the ground floor, which is the street level elevation. Just to kind of walk you through, starting at the right side of the page that's on the screen, that's Wanacue, sorry.
Yeah.
And then as you turn, the Colfax is along the bottom of the page, and then Lakeside on the left-hand side. So starting at the Wanacue side, there's a coffee shop of 1,434 square feet. Then as you turn the corner, there's a second retail space with the store on Colfax. That's 1,066 square feet. Then there's a set of doors that allows residents to access through the elevator lobby. And then right after that is retail space number 3, it's 968 square feet. And then retail space number 4 after that is 1,494, and then retail 5 is 1,257. So that kind of hugs Colfax all the way to the kind of the corner of Lakeside. And then behind it, kind of facing one unit facing Lakeside and the balance facing the pond hole, there are 5 apartments there. They kind of hug the perimeter of the backside of the building. Then within the footprint also, there's 2 common spaces for the residents. There's a fitness center and a community center room. And then on the corner, kind of the far corner on Lakeside, there's just the electric meters and transformer room. It's just got to have that somewhere on this level. So
in reference to my friend, Councilwoman Riker, who was on this board for many years, and she did have this question she would always bring up, with packages being very visible now and deliverable, is there a place for that to happen?
Yeah, there is the residential corridor is kind of 2 accesses. There's an access off of Colfax where it's a double door you can get in. It'd be a key fob type security door, and then another access off of Lakeside. And there's kind of a double door again. You come in through this residential exit corridor, but then there's another door that leads to the sort of private residential corridor. And and then as you walk through there, the elevator lobby's in the middle, but then off of the that residential corridor, there is a mail and package room.
Oh, good.
So that is a separate room, it's dedicated just for that purpose. It'll be big enough to have packages as well as the mailboxes, so it's like a counter.
Sure, here.
The delivery men would come in through which way?
They would have to come in through here and
okay.
back on the side.
There's a doorway to
Oh,
get into
okay.
that.
Yes, yeah, there's like
Oh.
2 sets of doors there.
Is your retail trash taken out through the front and walked around?
Yeah, they would have to walk around and it's in the lower part of the garage.
In the corner there, right?
Yes, it's, the retail trash is
By the garage door.
right on this corner here. Yeah, I mean, that's where, the trash is. Also, the residential trash is in the, lower level as well. The termination room of the chute, this is a trash chute that extends all the way up to the entire building to the top floor. Residents will have a location on each floor to dump their trash. It would end up at this lowest level. Trash would have to be hauled out of the,
And where is the corral itself when you put out the can, the garbage?
It's in the pond hole.
So that's what I'm saying, that's on our space.
well, no, you wouldn't pull it out, the
Well, you have to.
trash truck would come. Yeah, you'd have to roll it out, you'd have to roll the dumpster out. It would pick it up, dump it in their truck, and then you have to wheel it back
So you're
inside.
not going to, you're gonna wait, you're gonna know when the truck is coming and the guy's gonna roll it out at that time?
Yeah, that's how it's usually coordinated.
This is a discussion that we had, and the preference was not to do this on Lakeside or Colfax.
No, I understand not. to do
Yeah,
that.
but this is gonna go out into the
Yeah.
pond hole. Is that covered by the lease that you can,
Right,
by
that's
the
part of the
agreement, by that agreement?
I can't recall, but we
Okay.
need to, it needs to.
Yeah. You have to make sure that you're allowed
Right,
to.
you're using our space for garbage. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Is there enough?
Is your recycling handled the same way?
Yes, there are, no, it's not in the chute. There's recycling containers on, each level, and those would have to be, picked up by the management too. There's one chute in the building. I mean, unless they're using a service that provides commingling of recycling and, trash.
But Glenn brings up a good point. The recycling then is, you'll have your manager take it out, but then again, it has to go somewhere to be picked up. It won't be waiting, it won't be a truck there waiting for it. It'll have to be put out somewhere to be picked up when the truck comes.
I assume it goes down the elevator into the garage? to the
Yes.
Same general location by the pond hole entrance?
Yes, yes.
What, the residential trash room isn't by the pond hole entrance, it's more interior to the garage.
No, but the retail is.
Yeah, so the retail people have to go out onto Colfax, walk around the block and back into the garage, is that right?
Correct.
Where do they go now?
They just put it out, they
Is
can't.
that what they do?
Which was a discussion point in our prior, that we.
I'm just
that
asking
You
because.
did not like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we're trying to get away from that.
No, I understand that, I'm just,
But we also are, to your point, trying to have dumpsters in the back that people are using to dump it into a dumpster.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, they don't have any space to
Okay.
do that.
no, I'm with
And
you.
I would almost suggest, and I'm gonna throw something out, you probably hate it, maybe you take another spot out of a pond hole that you purchase, and you use that as a corral for everything. That the trucks could go in and out of it any time to pick it up. Because I see a nightmare going on here with cars parked, moving, trying to bring the garbage out at the same time a garbage truck's coming in, you got retail walking around the corner.
to get to work.
Right,
Can the trucks get through there?
where?
Through the
Pond
pond hole?
It's gonna be tight, if there's
Yeah.
cars in there, it's not the easiest to turn. We do it now, and we pick up garbage in there, but it's not an easy pickup. They might be private, I don't know which way you're going. I mean, are you relying on us to do it, or private, do you know?
I can't recall what we decided on this one. I think it was you, I think it was public.
Okay, so that, just keep that in mind, that could be a little bit of a,
Well, you just said you're
we don't
gonna
have
do it.
small garbage trucks, we have the full truck.
And those are the ones that are entering the pond hole now.
But they're not making turns, they're kind of just going to the ends and picking up the cans at the ends.
I think we can coordinate where you want us to bring them out to.
Well, no, see, the problem is, you don't have any property to bring out to.
No, with the understanding that we are going to use the pond hole to bring it out to when we roll them out. It's where you want us to roll them out to when the pickup is occurring.
Right, but what I'm saying is, so say it's a spot that you didn't purchase, we're not gonna tell you to put the garbage in a spot that could be used for parking.
So you need.
You have no space to actually leave a can somewhere on the back.
I understand. So you have dumpsters now,
Right.
back there in where there's.
No, we don't have dumpsters. We
Or
have
cans.
cans. We don't have any dumpsters.
Okay.
So we would want them to purchase, maybe?
I would leave it up to them to figure out the best pattern for them.
But they need to have a place where they have a right to leave trash and a ability for a truck to pick it up.
Now, they might do that privately, and some companies have smaller trucks that would be easier to move. If we go in there and try to pick up dumpsters, we're gonna need room to back up that truck, move it in, and that would need spaces to do that in. There's no place to do that in an alley, so it would be using spaces.
Yeah, we wouldn't go into the garage itself, they would have to leave it outside. Okay.
And what I'm saying is in the other projects that we have, they roll it out to somewhere, and when the garbage gets picked up, it gets picked up. There's no, be there at 10 o'clock, we'll be there at 10:02 to pick up the garbage. It's, you leave it out there for the morning and they come and pick it up. The problem they have with their situation here is they don't have any space in the back, so they couldn't roll it and leave it somewhere unless they were to purchase another spot where they could corral that, fence it in,
Right.
put your garbage in there and just leave it.
How often do you do pickups?
Twice a week. Well, yeah, twice a week. That, well, let's change it, 3 times a week. we're
Right,
recycling.
recycling. And where is your, garbage collected? Like within, like what do the tenants do with their garbage?
Yeah, so there's a trash chute on each floor.
Okay.
And they would dump it in the chute and it would go all the way to the lowest level. I think originally, I know this project has gone back and forth many times, and
Right.
originally there was sort of a garage area on the upper or the street level. We had a trash area, and we also had 2 driveways, and that was like, we went back and forth. We eliminated those, and I think the idea originally was that we would bring trash out to the street here, at the street level. That was, not the most favorable, so we kind of brought it down. And
Anything new we're building in downtown now, we're trying to get the garbage to go to the backside, not to the front. Now, the old buildings, that's what they've been doing, but I could say half of the people, especially the smaller redevelopment projects, have dumpsters, they have actual dumpsters. And they dump it, it's on their property, we come pick up the dumpster, and it goes out. So it's something you'll have to think about and work out.
Yeah, okay. Good comments.
I mean, I don't know if it's possible, maybe we recess this and just create our dumpster area right there and, have access from the outside.
That's something you could do on your own property.
With an overhang?
Yeah, with an overhang.
Yeah, let's look at that.
Again, just check the radiuses for a truck to get in there.
I'll give you credit.
Well, they don't have to necessarily back in, it would just be corralled here and they could pull it out.
Well, our guys are not gonna move it, so that's the problem. You guys would be moving it.
But that's a dead end there, right?
Yeah, you're never, no matter what, you're not gonna get a truck.
Yeah, how are you gonna get a truck down there? You gotta lift the dumpster, so you can't do a small truck. You could do a front-end truck, but they'd have to back all the way out.
No, because there's aisles that can go up and down between the parking.
Right, but is there an aisle to the right? I thought it was kind of tight there.
They're tight aisles, but there's 3 aisles, there is 3 aisles, but they're tight. I can tell you this, we had an issue with a fire truck, and I can tell you we're gonna probably remove the railings that were put in the pond hole, the wood railings, because too many people are breaking them and mashing into them because they're so tight, including garbage trucks and fire trucks. And we're gonna pull that out. We were trying to slow the padding down in there and speeding wise, but it's working against us now. And I think at the time, they put too many spots into an area. We lost some areas.
This is where it's gonna be.
This goes kind of back to, not to you, but to the civil, that you guys may want to show more of the parking lot on your site plan so that we can see that flow of traffic through there, not necessarily for us, but going to the next level.
The council's gonna have to review the easement, and I just showed it to Glenn, but if you look on Google, where we're putting this, a truck can just do an easy turn.
No, I do believe a truck can do it.
Yeah,
I'm just concerned that if it's a full lot, for some reason, it becomes tricky.
Well, you have to plan for it to be a full lot, I get that.
Right.
But even with it being a full lot, this is a picture of it pretty full. Okay, this is where it's gonna be.
Right here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know just as long as there's a place, I think my biggest concern is you can't have the dumpsters in parking spots. So they're gonna have to figure that out.
You can't have the
Agreed,
drive,
but just as a reminder, like this has not changed. This is what all was previously approved. There were two other questions that were raised on the cantilever levering.
Yeah, we could look at that. I know I was listening to the discussion, and, you know, if we could kind of chamfer this corner off and, you know, if it's not that deep and we could cantilever, that would be ideal and not have to deal with a column, and that would kind of be, sort of defeat the purpose almost of, you know, kind of widen that. So
I think you're right, I mean, it'll look very nice if we do it that way.
Yeah. So, yeah, that we would definitely make an effort to make that work.
And then the other question was the green roof.
Yeah, the green roof is really, you know, discussions with the client. We had a small portion of the roof that was green before. We did eliminate that, mainly because of maintenance issues. It's really, you know, the only access is there like a roof patch, you can go there and maintain it. I'm not sure how much it does in terms of storing the water. Yeah, those green roofs.
Well, if not a green roof, a
critical for the-
retention.
I'm sorry?
You were saying if not a green roof,
Just something.
like some kind of retention, water retention, storage?
I mean, we'll have to talk to the site engineer, see if we could put a dry well underneath and try to catch some of that, you know, it'll be underneath the lower level parking and try to, you know, catch some of that rainwater in there. It's something we could think about.
Okay. Just another question, just before I forget it. How about, are there gonna be, dogs in the, apartment, and do you have an area for dog walking?
I don't know if he's gonna have are you gonna allow dogs, Bill?
That's a great question, because it's another thing.
Not big dogs, yes, for sure.
Well, any size dog, you're gonna need a place to walk them on your property. So the issue I'm having with Lakeside and with Oversight is they're walking it on basically park.
I mean, we do have a courtyard as part of this still. It, you know, the courtyard did get a little smaller from the original one, only because, you know, we're trying to make the plan work and make the number of units work.
Is there grass in this courtyard?
There could be grass, we don't have right now.
It's on the
showing as a
It's on the
paved-
second story.
Sorry?
It's on the second story.
It's not,
Yes.
yeah, it's on the
It's on the.
street level, street level.
It's one
No,
level
that's right,
above.
second, you're right.
One
So it'll
level.
be on the first main level of
Yeah.
residential.
Residential.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a suggestion, you can bring it to your management of people. You might want to think about no pets.
No pets.
No pets.
Kind of like that better.
And then how about, what is the square footage on that, courtyard?
That courtyard, I don't have a label on that square footage of that, but just looking at some of the units in that area, it's probably about 1,000 square feet.
Only 1,000 square
Yeah.
So going back, if you decide to go the other way and have pets, you are gonna have to have an area to walk the pets.
They can have a bird.
Bird.
I'm not making any argument.
You'd rather dogs than birds. You've heard birds?
You can have a goldfish or a bird, I guess you're right.
Was there anything else?
No, I mean, in terms of the changes, no, everything really stayed the same besides what we discussed. Yeah, maybe the number of signs might have changed. I think we did have 5 units, so we have a total of 303 square feet of signage, which
What kind of signage do you have?
the signage is really what's on the retail spaces, is coffee shop sign on the coffee shop, and then the other retail spaces there.
Is that boxed, lighting?
No, we're showing awnings there. We're showing awnings all along the streetscape and the, you know, the signage.
Well, we have our own, and Kristen could probably, we have our own standards of
We're
what they have to
working
have.
on that, right, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But they're not quite done, so.
So-
no, but we have we have them now, too.
What we're doing, I just had whispered to the mayor about this a few minutes ago. What we're doing now will probably not be adopted prior to what this team is presenting to the planning board. But, I don't think that there's anything that's particularly off with this project as to what we will end up adopting in terms of design standards. And with the permission of the borough, I could always show them what our design standards are and hope that in goodwill, they kind of play along.
All right, so, just curious, when you say, like, signage, you said that's the awning, so are you not, the Meridian has those box lighting?
Box lighting is accepted.
I'm not loving that.
Yeah, but that's
I know that's already done,
Well, I'm just saying that's what, in our ordinances of what type of lighting you can have.
but I thought like, when, Michael Fabrizio was toying with design standards, that was one of
They
the
never
things.
changed any of that.
Yeah, but that's one of the things that they were like,
So that's what Chris is talking about. We are in the process of changing it, but it
Yeah.
probably won't happen by the time this project goes through.
right, so like,
But-
can
but
we
like,
get
if
rid of
we-
it?
If we tell them, we're planning to move away from box lighting, but we do like, facade lighting with gooseneck,
Yeah,
facade signs with gooseneck lighting, or awnings,
Yeah.
ABC, like, I can show them to the team, and hopefully they are fine with it anyway.
okay, all right, just wanna,
You have complete approval here. So-
right, so we can just say no box lighting.
You could, but then they're gonna say what you want.
And then we could ask Kristen for some ideas, and she just described some ideas.
Right, but then there's also the standard of the town.
Would you be open to considering no backlit signs in some sort of alternative? That's the question.
No box signs, you're saying?
Yes.
Would you be okay with facade signs, wall-mounted signs that were gooseneck illuminated?
Yeah,
I think that would look nice.
Yeah, I think that, yeah.
So say that again, just to make
Just
sure.
wall signs with gooseneck lighting,
Yes.
Yeah,
So no awnings.
no,
No backlit
no
signs.
backlit signs.
Okay.
Well, no, I didn't say no awnings though, right?
No, awnings are fine.
No, just in
Well,
lieu
they
of.
show
That's what I
signs.
interpreted when you say wall mount.
No, if there were things that were other than awnings, signs other than awnings, it would be that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right,
Awnings are, we like awnings.
right.
Well, are the awnings illuminated? Because
No.
Yeah, so if there is something
for
other.
stores that are open at night, how do you?
Well, I mean, it's just, we could add gooseneck lights to the awning itself, I mean.
Email me tomorrow and I'll send you the draft of what we're working on.
Can we look at page 4 of the architectural plans? I think it's top level. Maybe it's not page 4, maybe it's page.
3?
Yeah, whatever shows the top floor, yeah.
Fourth floor, yes.
So if you
This
zoom,
is the roof plan.
yeah, that might be it. If you zoom in where the cornice is on the right,
Yeah.
it extends beyond the property line. So I don't know that you can have a
Yeah.
portion of your structure
Well,
that extends
On
beyond
a
the
right
property.
of way, I think you're allowed to, if this is not a right of way, this is an adjacent property, we might have to trim that back on that side, you're right.
But even a right of way, I don't know that you have permission to put your
There's
structure
usually
into
there's
a right
usually
of
an
way.
allowance for several inches, but I don't remember. Well, you'll have to check.
Okay. I just saw that and don't want that to be.
And can you just go over what the courtyard is, explain what it actually, what are you presenting there?
No, this is a roof plan,
No,
so
no, I
it's
understand,
a
but what is
wide.
on the second floor,
Oh.
what is it? A piece of cement, just an open space?
Well, yeah, it's really just it's a, right now it's showing pavers within this courtyard space. I mean, they would just put out some, lawn furniture and things like that. Some potted
Really
plants.
just there for egress, right? Ultimately, it's there so you have a second exit from your
So the
apartment.
No, it's not a second exit, it's for light and air and
It's for windows.
there's
It's for windows.
Some windows in there.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
So,
But it's also your second
but
egress from the
if
apartment.
people are hanging out
You
there,
can't exit street level from the courtyard.
No, you can't. It's not meant for an exit, because this door is really an entrance exit into the courtyard, but anybody coming out would either go to this fire stair or this fire stair.
but so how would you, what would you do about privacy? Because let's say anybody who lives in that building can go have a little, whatever, barbecue out there. How would we prevent them from like
It's
getting
more
right
of
up
a-
on the windows of the
Yeah, I
people?
mean, you can't, I mean, you have to
Well,
maybe
I would-
screen it from.
I
like,
would
the private
say
plants or
maybe have
Planters.
planters of X width along the perimeter of that building, maybe like, I don't know, 3 feet or 2 feet, of planters to at least keep people away from those windows a little bit.
I was gonna say, these are all units.
Yeah, so the units look in, that's it.
I mean, not only to keep the creepy people from looking in, but to keep like, malicious person from trying to get in.
Right, right.
Yeah, but the only people that are getting into there are people who live in
Anyway.
That doesn't mean you don't have creep in your building.
The creepy I get, the malicious, and I've always said to my wife, somebody wants to get in, the potted plant is not stopping them. But I agree.
You're right, but it at least provides a
Feeling.
fabricated sense of safety.
Well, somebody could just put their chair right next to your window.
Or a little.
Right, or like stand there smoking,
Exactly.
whatever.
Oh, yeah. Are you allowed to smoke on nice
Are
carpet?
you allowed to barbecue? Is my question.
Yeah, I would say no.
I would say no to barbecuing.
No, I don't think.
Fire.
Even if you're hanging out there having a birthday party, you don't want somebody who's like this far from your window.
Right, right.
So what about music and?
Well, that's gonna be up to management.
Yeah.
So this, for the next question, is there management on site?
There's no super unit.
Yeah, there's no super.
It's only 50, or 47 units.
Well, 40,
That's a good amount, yeah.
I would say you need super there. We're not gonna, I'm gonna make that suggestion.
I have not seen or done any building less than 100 units with a super unit.
They say comments, has it?
You forced it on me. No, I don't think this.
I'm just saying, speaking for my police and everything else, you know, we stop a lot of concern if management steps in before police steps in.
Right.
You know, for stupid things. I'm not even saying you have to have live-in management. It could be management that's there during, you know, hours. You know, you have to find a little space for an office, but not a lot. You know, like normal maintenance, who's doing that?
Right.
Well, there's gonna be a professional management company, and there's
Right,
gonna
but
be,
where they're off-site.
there'll be a portfolio management company that has multiple sites within the area, yeah. And
No, but I'm saying you have to call them when there's an issue.
That's typically how it works. Or there's typically, the professional management companies, and anybody who's a renter here probably knows about it, but there are a lot of programs that as a tenant you have access to, and you put in work orders directly through that.
Right, but I'm saying, say the front door doesn't open,
Right?
okay, they're gonna call the police. They're not, if there was.
No, they
Right.
should, their management company will have an emergency number. They always do.
I'm gonna make that.
47 units is not, I mean, the superintendent would be
So who's
twiddling
renting?
their thumbs all
How are you
day
renting these?
through the management company. They're gonna have to be, there'll be appointments. Still leasing office for 47 units.
I'm not asking for a leasing office, but I would think the same gentleman that you would have on site for concerns or hours would also be in charge of leasing, showing around. You know, I've been in many buildings that have somebody doing all those things. You know, I'm not saying to live in it, you don't have to give them
That'd
space.
be a super.
A super.
Are you accepting to take one of your units as a super?
Not to make it, not.
No, I don't know yet.
I mean, we could easily add
Right, you
a
just
small
need to-
office
small office,
if you
that's all you
want. I
need.
mean, we have this space on the ground, this,
Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
No, I'm not asking for a room for them to live in. I'm asking for a small office that you have.
right, we
management
have
on site.
this, you know,
For certain
community
hours a
room, and we
day.
gotta carve out some space out of
And
it.
you
You
can
can put a desk in the community room.
And you can use it to sell those
Yeah,
things
just
too.
carve
You
out
can
a
do that
room,
for show the
just throw an
apartments,
office.
You've also got that big space like around the corner where you're by the elevator. You have like a huge lobby
Where?
On the first floor.
on the first floor, like yeah, in the center.
Probably leave it up to the board, that's just my suggestion, if you guys don't want to do that.
That's not as big as you think.
No?
That's a
small
small
space.
office in there.
I mean, we could, if we had to carve out an office in the community room, we could.
Community room, what, 675 square feet?
Matter of fact, if I rent, it might be the super have one of the apartments, so I don't know.
That's, I didn't want to go that far.
That would be
but
better.
is a good thing.
Yeah.
That would be better.
I just know, dealing with the small units that we have, when we have units that are 25, 50, 45, things pop up all the time, and if there's management on site, at least they can get the process started, not saying you're fixing it, but at least started. Instead of a resident who doesn't know any better, there's a dog running around the backyard, they're calling the police, right? Instead of the management just saying, let's go see whose dog that is, it's this guy's dog, whatever.
Right.
Example.
Right.
No, like that.
Not doing that's your right.
Here's the birds flying.
Any other questions?
Okay, any other questions on the architectural? So you're 8 feet just 8 feet on the sidewalk, right? So I'm just thinking of the optic. Right now, we have the open space there from the ice cream station. And we were thinking about maybe making that more of a, bringing out that curb a little bit and creating more green space there.
Yeah, well,
It's actually more than 8 feet, because we did set the building, if you see, this is the property line that's shown in the heavy, the dark line. So the building is set back, the upper floors to cantilever over like 2 feet or so. So that, I believe the 8 feet is from the side, from the curb to the property line, and there's an additional 2 feet.
Oh, so there's an extra 2 feet or so?
Yeah, except at this corner where it kind of cuts back.
All right, so you're looking at maybe a 10-foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 foot,
If this
10
is
foot
8.
from the back of the curb, or 10 foot from the back of the paver border, or 10 foot from the back of the tree well. Those are all very, very different numbers.
I believe right now the existing properties are right to the property line. You can see that shaded, this kind of hatched area here, so the brick building, that goes right to the property line. We're actually making it a little better by pushing our building back.
Right.
So that's good news. You are pushing the building back a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but you're not really, you don't really know. I'm not getting a clear idea, but.
No, but if you look at this drawing it's on the screen, the shaded area goes right to the property line. The shaded area is the existing building that's there. So our building is 2 feet back from there. So regardless of what this dimension is, we're picking up an additional 2 feet.
So you're thinking 10 feet?
Yeah, if the sidewalk is 8, yes, an additional 2, so that would be 10.
Because what you can end up, if you have a true 10 feet, smaller table, if you have a coffee shop, for example, could put a small table out front and do some outside dining.
I don't think it's gonna be 10 feet. I don't think they're proposing 10 feet.
They have those small tables.
Jump off the curb and get killed.
Just eyeballing it, if that's 2 feet between the property line and the building, then it certainly looks like at least 4 of those to make it 8 feet.
I just feel, okay.
I will say, my struggle with this is my kids just started riding their bikes. Yesterday, they were so excited to go to the ice cream station and hang out in that. While it's on private property, it essentially has a park-like feel. That area with pavers, with benches, people walking their dogs can hang out there. Kids can hang out there. You end a baseball season, you go to the ice cream station, right? That is a huge community feel, and I understand it's on your property. And that is a struggle because the viability of this, right? And the area you need and the units you need, that is a total struggle, right? I understand that. I also understand our ordinance that requires 75% max building coverage, which would be 25% open coverage, which in my mind was envisioned when the plan was developed. This lot hasn't changed from when the plan was originally developed. And we must have taken those things into consideration when we developed the plan, that we want to maintain some semblance of open space or open feel in our downtown. Height is people are hammering us on height.
Which is why we're here.
You hear it all the time. I personally can give on the height if there's a give on the feel, on the space. I know you're back here, and I apologize that I'm asking things that I'm sure have been discussed at previous board meetings. I'm a new board member. We have 2 other new board members. So, regretfully, I want to revisit some of the space that's already been tried. Now, I understand I'm only one board member, so that's certainly to everyone else's discussion, but that's just personally where I come. And look, cards on the table, I'm an engineer, so I look at things logically all day. I have to look at this more emotionally from a town feel. If redevelopment doesn't give people in town what they want, then this board is going to lose support. The council's going to have a real tough uphill battle to push these projects through and make redevelopment plan changes. So that's just I guess that's my soapbox, 2 cents to the rest of the
So, I
board.
mean, and I understand what you're saying. The other thing you gotta keep in mind is, there's no guarantee even the ice cream station comes back, right? It's his choice to come back.
And I don't want to even say the ice cream
Right.
station, it's just that
But
community feel.
yeah.
And any retail that goes into one of these units,
Right, but if
to be
it's
able
like
to
a
market
clothing
it.
store, the kids don't care about the clothing store, right? They're not gonna drive their bike to the clothing store.
Right.
Correct.
But I think to Matt's point is that we are losing that small town feeling, and this is built out to the maximum, beyond the maximum.
No, I disagree.
Can you entertain the idea of changing that curb line, because would that help out?
I mean, that's gonna give some, like, so if you go to this plan,
To widen this curve, you're saying?
so this survey is not reflective of the current condition on the other side of the road. This might have been done before Lakeside was constructed. On the left side of this, there's now like a bump out and on-street parking striped in that. If you flatten this radius just to match the radius on the other side, you're going to create more space on that corner, more non-vehicular space on that corner for pedestrians, for,
So you're not changing the plan, you're just changing the street.
I would do both, but I'm presenting, you know,
But it stacks above. So you're pushing it back?
I
Like
would,
that one retail on the corner, retail 5?
let's say it's completely independent of that. Yes,
You wanted to do something like this, right? And then,
but not on, well, yeah, you could do it onto Colfax, but I'm saying onto Lakeside also.
Yeah, but
That
Colfax,
same bump
it might
out
be
on the lakes.
difficult. Are they both
Oh,
county
that's
roads?
County road.
yeah.
How about
The
Lakeside?
width of that.
How about Lakeside?
Well,
Is
we
that-
We do have parking on both sides of that street further down.
And I'm not saying the county won't agree with that, because the county is looking to slow down traffic on all those streets, so, you know, maybe making that a tighter radius there might help. I can't speak for the county, but just keep in mind, that's not nobody's decision here, that's gonna be a county decision.
Right. But that, I mean, I think just even for safety's sake, that is a fast.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's not as wide either as you got your line, right? The line is gonna stop probably where the writing is. Is that correct?
Well, this is the parking stall right here, the depth of the parking stall, the first one, so I mean, if you lined it up with that.
Oh, you're lining it up with parking.
It just sweep that curve.
I mean, I'm not against that idea. It does bring more space to the front of it. It's not really costing you guys a lot of money. It's not doing anything, except giving us a better feel in the front. It's in the county's turn.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it
Because
does,
it's
it
so-
does greatly impact us. Because I spent 18 months for John Suki trying to get a county approval on something.
Oh, well,
That's a huge difference.
Yes.
I just,
I can't
And you're
speak
not,
for the county.
you're not gonna gain a lot of space.
I don't think you're getting the benefit for the delay and the bang here. I get the argument. I get the idea.
But, you know,
at
we're
the end of
gonna
the
be
day-
living with this. And
Understood.
it changes the whole dynamic of that area. It's a nice open area
But
right
you gotta
now.
keep in mind, the county might say no.
Yeah.
And then we wasted 18 months for nothing.
But how about for Lakeside? Is there something we can do with the Lakeside portion of that, if we didn't?
Lakeside, meaning where?
Like from the other area,
From
just, yeah, I don't know if we can bump out that a
Street
little.
width here is, I don't know.
It's not a- yeah, it's not a wide street.
30 feet, yeah.
No, so they took, when they built the other side, they did the bump outs that he's talking about, they took the property that they had to make the bump out.
Oh.
It wasn't our property.
We took it from, yes, took it from Lakeside.
Okay.
I, not to looking to get fixated on this, it's just more for me.
Well, here's something you
The
can
loss
offer. You
of
can
the
offer
open
this,
space on the
maybe,
corner.
if you guys, Amanda will do it, you could chop off some of the retail on that triangle and make it go open space and have smaller retail on the corner.
I mean, the problem is then that permeates all the way up to the building.
Yeah, they're not gonna cut the upper floor, you're just gonna have this overhang.
Yeah, you'd have an overhang.
Outdoor space.
Yeah.
That would also chop off part of a unit.
Unit, yeah.
Where, on the bottom?
On the
Yeah.
first floor, there's a
Well, up
unit.
to the color unit, isn't that the first unit?
Yeah, but look how close the unit gets to the corner.
you really wouldn't get anything unless you took out the housing unit as well.
Yeah, the space is what the space is, and that's what it's always been. If nothing is done and they don't do a project, the space stays exactly the same way it is right now, so it's not changing.
Or we go forward with what we already have approved. Remember, we're here for two changes, to reduce the height.
Okay.
So that's what we're here, is to make the project smaller.
But they don't have approved because that height is not approved. They need a variance, a D variance. So no, it's not approved in that they can't go to the planning board with it.
No, it's approved by this body, is what I meant.
Approved, but there's nothing signed, you want something different. And there's no redevelopment plan that will allow it to go forward. You're not bound by anything. I want this thing to go forward, so don't get me wrong, but don't believe that you're bound by when they said it's approved. They need something, and they cannot go unless they get the height changed and plans, changes to the redevelopment plan, so.
And I think
everything
the
is
reason they came back to us, they heard your board, they heard the council, and they heard that the project was too big, it was too high, there was too many units, and it was squished into a small package. So I think they did the best they can, and I think it's not bad in reducing the height, reducing the units, and still going forward with what they want. At the end of the day, if nothing happens on that corner, we're stuck with what we're looking at right now for time. That's what stays. It's not gonna like, if you walk away, everything gets built new there. It's just gonna be looking junky there. Not nothing against how it looks.
Anyone else have any questions for the architect? Anyone? Any questions? No questions? And is there anything else you would want to propose to reduce the?
I don't think it's really, for me, it's a fundamental question on like the overall concept. I'm certainly wrestling with it and struggling with it, right? And it's,
Yeah, I've been struggling with it. I mean, as you know, you know that I've been struggling. Well, you're probably going, no, she's the chair.
Not at all.
Anyway, I am struggling with it too, just because it's not, it is just so large, and if there's any way to step it back, or.
Well, they did, though, is that what
they did chop down, and that's a big difference.
So the next step for them is, say, for some reason this doesn't pass here, they take what they have and they go to the council for the next step of the old building. And say the council approves that.
Right.
Then you're getting a higher building.
Right. So this is, that's right. So
there's no
it
sign
did
we
pass
don't-
last
I don't want to
We
punish
don't-
them for coming back with more of what we want.
You say approved, we signed in
What is
redevelopment.
it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Exactly, yeah,
This
I
doesn't say
get what
amendment,
Ken's saying
It says a
too.
new agreement. I think they voted to approve, but,
Not executed?
yeah, I don't think we ever executed. But anyway,
Yeah, no.
I think we're trying to work something out here, let's
Just
just.
the next step is the council, if he stays with the initial project, right?
No, I don't think that this board signed a redevelopment agreement allowing them to move
Oh, I
forward.
thought they did.
I think that
Why
they
would
said,
they not be obligated? So if they pass a resolution authorizing the execution just because we haven't, it's still binding. We'd have to sign it.
authorizing, not mandating, big difference.
Yeah.
But I think let's go forward here. Let's not have an argument that we don't need to have.
I'm gonna reach out to our executive, how do you know, you're new to seeing this too, what do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, reducing the height is significant. The units have dropped. They've given a lot of what was asked. And I understand the feel issue, but I don't know how you get around that on the corner. I mean, again, you kind of agree with Ken, you're punishing them for trying to bring them more in line with what we originally asked for.
I have a question, I don't know if you bring up the owner or not? You bring-
No, unless, you can
Well,
ask them.
I asked you guys, you could ask it. I see that the front salon is moved into the second area. Does that mean they're going to stay and take over that whole area, or they did all this work to move into the second space and not knowing to come back?
We don't know yet on that part, what they're gonna take in the new building. And that part, we don't know yet, how much they want, how many square feet. The ice cream station was just sold again. Okay, now I don't know how long that's gonna last. So far, Hans has been moved out 2 years, I can't rent that spot. Now I just had the clothing store just closed up because she couldn't afford to stay there. Okay, so I'm losing retail spots like crazy on this piece of property. So I'm not getting.
I'll say this in that,
Okay, go ahead.
I agree with them, but I mean, you could make them more reasonable for the retail to come in too, maybe.
I have a reasonable list.
Right, I'm not saying cost, I'm just saying look-wise. You know, there's some people probably are saying, I don't know what's going on with that redevelopment, so I'm staying away from that until I know what's going on. Because obviously, anything that's gonna be put in there, and I would be doing the same thing, obviously the square footage is gonna go up because you're building a new building, and maybe some people can't afford that square footage.
Right.
So that's just.
Well, there's also there's gonna be a lot of downtime for whoever's in here.
Yeah.
So it's hard to rent a space that they know is gonna be gone for a year and a half to 2 years
At
while
least.
it gets redone. That's just a tough place to be in.
Yeah, and I think what the board has to look at is, and I go back to what Matt is saying, the future of what we're looking for our downtown, right? We want to keep the retail. That's the most important thing, at least to me, is to keep the retail. And if we can put apartments on that to offset, to keep the retail going and keep the small feel of our town, which is very important to me also, it's a combination of everything. But sitting the way we're sitting now and going another 10 years the way we're sitting right now is not the answer, right? Keeping those 5 buildings the way they look now for another 10 years, especially if the ice cream station was to disappear, would be an ugly corner. I'm not gonna lie, it would be an ugly corner. I can tell you that the building that they built across the street, the Lakeside Commons, there was a lot of noise about that, a lot of screaming and yelling. We have no concerns, no complaints, no problems. We're rarely over there for anything. The management company does a good job of doing what they have to do. The only issue we had there was the pet thing, which is our fault for not thinking of that earlier. And they're walking their animals at the high school, and that was our mistake. I don't blame the builders for that. So, I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. Now, it reaches a point that development will stop. And I can tell you where that's gonna come from is from the MUA. The MUA is at a number right now where there's not much more building can go on this town unless they address concerns at the MUA level. So we're almost at capacity. There's maybe 60 more spots that can fit in this town.
So I guess that's my other question, right? And this is a question for this board. Do you go to 4 stories at a location, knowing that you really don't have sewer capacity to go up anywhere else? And you're really only gonna be able to build in exact height and footprint of what you have? Or do you go shorter on current buildings so that you get more consistently to 3 stories?
Well, I can tell you the MUA stands
The way
for
our
that,
plan-
because there is
the way our
no
plan is.
hierarchy, first come, first served to the MUA.
Right.
If someone comes in tomorrow and wants to build, 12 stories and 200 apartments, I'm sure the MUA is gonna say we can do up to 60 or 70, and then you're gonna have to come up with a plan for a new plant to figure out all this.
The other problem is that it comes down to a balance between how much it costs them to redo the building versus what they're gonna get as a payment out of it. And there's that fine line between 2 stories and 4 stories and the number of apartment units before it becomes not feasible for them to even do
Absolutely.
anything with the building. So that 4 seems to be about the magic number that we're hearing with most of these projects.
But I gotta push.
No, I'm not saying, and I'll use the project that we just approved. The gas station, which we'll call the Suja project, that's an ugly sitting gas station for how many years? 20 years. It's gonna be some apartments there with no retail, but it's better than what's sitting there now, right? People are gonna drive through the town and see that and say, well, that's much nicer than that junk that was sitting there before. And we're gonna get 20 apartments, we'll make some money as a town, we'll get some pilot out of that. And that's not why we're doing this, by the way. It's not about the pilot only, it's about redeveloping our downtown to make it usable for future people coming to town. People wanna come here because they see our downtown. And that's a huge part of the retail. The retail is, we can't dismiss how much these builders wanna be downtown because we have a great downtown.
Well, I just have to wonder, like, when I'm driving through like Florham Park and things like that, I see 3 stories. I don't see 4 stories. Unless I go to Pompton Lakes, I go to Pewaukee, it's 3 stories.
No, most, like, Riverdale is building 600 units, Bloomingdale's building 600.
I mean, Riverdale, the one that, near us, the Hamburg Turnpike is
That's 4 stories, that's 4 stories.
No, the little strip mall,
The strip mall is the retail, and there's 3 on top.
the one by the,
Yeah, where the thing is, yeah.
I think it's only
You know,
2 stories.
all of
It's-
them.
All these houses are gonna pitch you guys up.
They're all,
You guys don't
yeah,
get it.
construction costs and tariffs, 3 stories. Because once you do the foundation, every story above it is incrementally less expensive,
Okay.
you know, and you can't go more than 4 over parking anyway. So we went in at that originally, and you'll recall, we also had 2 levels of parking.
You did.
And that's where we had, so our sacrifice here to get the lower level, even
Is
though
the
we took
parking.
away 10 units, we got rid of the 1 parking, so we put more units on the ground floor. But our market units, so you may see we lost 10 units, but we really lost like 16, 17 units when you count the number of co-units we had to add back. Because we were only originally going to be required to have something like 4 or 5, and now how many do we have? 10, yeah.
And that's dictated by the ratio?
That's dictated because we're
Third
now in the
round.
4th round. When we started this, we were in the 3rd round.
That allowed, and what that provided was 10%, 7% actual units, 3% you could buy down to 90,000 per year.
So when we went to the 4th round, you know, there's a magistrate and judge that we deal with about this, and they came to us and said, you are starting this level this time. You're not getting that deal anymore. You got away with a good deal then, we're going here, and only up from there.
So our 4th round housing plan shows this building, this
Yeah,
lot,
this is included.
as 4 units and 4 bonus. Right?
No, they have to meet the requirement of the new obligation.
The one that we just passed.
No. Mr. Brewer's right. Because I looked at your housing element fairship plan, you included this property.
We did include it, yes, it's included.
And, correct.
But you have to follow, you're not on the 3, because 3's over.
Correct. No, what I'm saying is it's not just following the 20%, like you actually use these units, you
Yes,
need these
yeah.
units.
Yeah, that's right.
You need these
4
2,
units, we credit.
10.
I thought it was 4, when I read it, it was 4 units.
Oh, no, I'm talking about what we're providing.
No, I understand that. I'm
Yeah.
saying what we're required in our plan to meet is 4 and 4. 4 units and 4 bonus.
Right.
So we're exceeding our plan.
Right.
But that is because that's, oh, sorry?
They were paying for it.
No. He's talking about the 4th round. The reason for that is because your current redevelopment plan cannot contemplate. That's where we have to amend the redevelopment plan.
Correct,
Right.
but if you only were providing 8 units, right, 8 affordable co-units, you would meet our plan,
But they wouldn't.
because that's what our
have the
plan
height-
shows. If you had less units,
No, you would just be minus, and then we'd have to make up 2.
No,
if our plan shows 8 units and they're providing 10,
We're plus 2.
plus 2, if we reduce the number of units and to meet the ratio, they were only providing 8 units, they would still be compliant with our housing plan. That has 8 allocated.
Yeah, I don't know.
that may be true, but it wouldn't be buildable. So you wouldn't
No,
get.
I'm just trying to
Because
understand.
you'd be shorting 2 units worth of.
Right, so you're saying we would
income.
take off 2?
Well, because for every 2 units that come out, you have to take out another 8 market units.
Just so that it's out there, so it's understood that if you were to lessen the number of units overall in this project, not talking about financials, just talking about affordable housing, you could still meet our affordable housing requirement.
Sure.
Just so I understand.
Right, but then it becomes going, what Ken said, it becomes
Absolutely.
a buildable, is it
Absolutely.
buildable or not buildable?
And it becomes a function of what the pilot looks like, and we're not party to that
I'm gonna say
negotiation.
this, when these small, and I call this a smaller project, the pilot is nice and it brings in some money and it's good, but you know, it's not changing our tax ratio hugely with these small projects. A Meridian project is making changes. It could be tax point difference for residents. This helps, no question. You all know our healthcare alone went up,
$500,000, you said?
500,000. Our $200 tax increase for each resident of $206, 200 of it is because of healthcare and retirement. So it's $6 is the increase that we're putting out. The other 200 is from the state, and there's nothing we can do about that. That's just what it is, and those numbers are gonna keep growing.
What benefits do you guys have?
So speaking solely for myself, if we could get the overhang cantilever at Wanacue and Colfax, that we talked about, right? To increase the sidewalk width to there to, let's say, a minimum of 10 feet. So assuming it's feasible, right? If we can get that to 10 feet. If we could investigate modifying the radius of the street, and I'll go to the county planning board with you and argue for it, modify the radius to get a curb bump out, if feasible, on those two lots to increase the pedestrian area on that corner. And if we could investigate pushing back to further cantilever that two corner units, we'll call it the COA unit and retail space 5,
Okay.
to get at least a 10-foot sidewalk or more sidewalk. I'll say maximize the sidewalk we can get there. I think I can support this.
Okay,
I can respectfully tell you, I cannot agree to anything that is going to require us to go to the planning board of the county. Not because I don't think we'd be approved, but because your mayor can share this county planning board more than all the other 20 in the state. That will add a year and a half to our project. And I just can't, it's as as small as the project, it's not about the money, it's about the time. This planning board will take a year and a half for us to get through.
But wait, what's the street? Is Lakeside County?
No.
So can you investigate doing a bump out only on Lakeside the way that it is across the street and not even impact Colfax?
We can certainly investigate any of that, but if anything requires us to go to the county, then
Well,
I just can't agree.
isn't it required to go to the county anyway because it's on a county road?
Yeah, but we're not gonna need approvals for improvements on the road, which is what caused the delay in the other project.
Because I've run into this in another town where they requested the radius actually be made larger, which is what we have here, so.
Yeah, maybe they will, but yeah.
They may tell you to make it smaller.
Yeah.
They could ask for things like that.
And I understand why you're saying it, I mean, it makes sense, I mean, it is a busy intersection, and we could slow down.
slow it
traffic.
down, and shouldn't we be addressing
But
the
I agree
safety
completely
issue?
with what Steve is saying, and it's just unfortunate, our county, the way it sits, makes it very difficult to get anything approved through them. I know many, and not just with him, other builders on Hamburg Turnpike have said, I'm gonna keep what I have, because I'm not going back to the county, because that could take another year and a half to figure out how to just put a bush in front of my business. So they don't even want to deal with it. It's just unfortunate, it's just the way it is.
I honestly think that they're gonna have comments on it, on the project,
As it sits.
without requesting additional things, we'd like to do this or that. I think they're gonna have their own comments.
They very well may,
that you're
but
gonna
I've
have
had
to-
success, I've had success with them when it's just comments like that,
Yeah.
rather than, hey, we're going to realign your road, and then
Right.
it just gets into, I can't tell you what poor John Sushi had to go through in the county, but.
Long time.
So, but you think it's already 10 feet?
Well, I'm interested in that.
It's not on
question.
the corner, and we agreed to, at the corner, do that. That's fine.
So, but if I'm understanding what everybody's telling me, it's 10 feet now from the new building to the street. No, at least on the Colfax side.
Approximately.
Approximately, yeah.
What's that mean?
That means it could be 10, it could be 9, it could be,
Yeah, 10 to me, I'm just gonna say this, because we've got a lot of problems down there.
we don't have a.
That's a good
But-
spot for our town.
But they're gonna, I think, that you're gonna look into making some of these changes, the ability to do it. I imagine between now and then, you can look into giving the exact width of that sidewalk for the next meeting, and the garbage thing. That, which will not slow me down looking at the agreement, because that is just gonna have the attached stuff, whatever's approved. That's not gonna slow it down. So I would say if you can list the things that some you're gonna have to do with the garbage, some you're gonna have to measure the sidewalk. So unfortunately, you have to be here for the next meeting.
Well, it's not a delay thing. That's now, we've been before this body probably 10 times on this project, 47 units. I understand it's not a delay, but what it is now is Bill paying 3 professionals to come back another night, when I think we could just make them all conditions of approval for your resolution.
Well, there's a lot of conditions, because,
I have 4 of them.
No, but we've discussed, we haven't talked about parking, right, which we have to still discuss, and has to be voted on by the council. The easement.
No, yeah.
No, I mean, those are things that are parts of this project.
Yeah, but not this
Not
vote
not
is limited. So the conditions that I wrote down is the corner that we talked about. If we're going to allow employees, which I don't think we are, we're going to have to add a secure door. We're going to figure out the trash and recycling, either pull it back in that corner or have to propose a space for a dumpster. There'll be no pets. The signage will have gooseneck lighting. Yogesh is going to look at the cornice on the top, see if that's illegally over the property line, and planters along the perimeter of the courtyard. That's what I have. Was I missing any?
No, but I don't see this as a planning board thing where they're going to approve it subject to conditions. I see those things being satisfied, and they see exactly what they're going to vote yes on and approve at the next meeting or whatever. This isn't a planning board thing where it's subject to conditions. I don't see it as that. I don't think the board has to either. They can see the final thing, what it's gonna look like, everything with the measurements, whether they can do the sidewalk, respond. Bring one professional. They don't need everybody. And I don't think that they would need everybody, especially if there's some consultation beforehand. But that's my recommendation. You can do what you want, and if he convinces you otherwise, you can.
No,
So, well, I will, and I see where this is going, but I agree with you that the board can do that, but I also don't see why the board could not do it either as conditions in a resolution or subject to the engineer's satisfaction.
I don't think they're ready to vote tonight on anything, but they can decide.
Thoughts? I'm going to go with Andy's recommendation and make sure that, but I don't know if we have everything, you said.
You think that, I didn't know, I'm just telling you.
Go
what
ahead.
you-
Yeah, no, I like that. Thank you.
You're gonna open it to the public, you have to still open it to the
Okay.
public, right? And
Okay.
then, I know we still have to do it.
I will.
And then maybe you wanna go down either store on either side and just get a feeling of how each person feels on general.
Okay.
And then you do a vote or whatever you want to do.
Okay, so,
But talk to Andy about the opening. to the
opening to the public.
public. Are they done here? I don't know.
Okay, so is there anyone in the public who would like to be heard? Seeing no one in the public that would like to be heard, then we'll start down with Ken. Is that okay, Ken? You have some, what are your thoughts? You've given us a few already, so.
Yeah, I mean, I would be okay with, going the way that you're saying, which is to just say these things need to be taken care of, and assuming that you do that, then it's a go. So I'm okay with going that way.
Okay, so right now we have, okay, I'll just continue.
I'm gonna agree with the mayor that this looks better than what we have currently, and
Most definitely.
if we don't build, they'll just build elsewhere. And we're stuck with what we have, which is our aging buildings that are crumbling, that don't look as nice. I think this is a beautiful building, and I appreciate that they lowered it an entire floor to accommodate our ask and increase the retail. So I think we can find open space elsewhere in downtown. There's some properties that I know that can't be built on or are very difficult to build on that we were looking at one point. So I'm okay with moving forward as well. But I also understand there are new board members, so there might be a need to review a little bit more, ask some questions. So.
Right, and I think we have conditions and that, Andy said that, has proposed that we should maybe have them come back after the conditions are met.
I understand that.
And then we bring one professional and we will then be satisfied in that regard.
But I'm with Ken on.
Okay, thank you.
So, right, my concerns, I laid them out. I think we absolutely need to have a 10-foot sidewalk consistently around the building. I think that is, for me, that would be a condition of the approval. I would also recommend that if we're going to make a recommendation to modify the redevelopment plan, we could consider, instead of modifying it to approve 5 feet and 5 stories and 57 feet, maybe we look at it differently and we change the plan so that it's measured from Wanacue.
Yeah.
And it's shown as 4 stories, and it's just a big mental change to people to say they're putting in a 5-story building versus they're putting in a 4-story.
Certainly, when I open up the redevelopment plan to amend it, I am without a doubt, going to have to address where we're measuring from. So it'll either say X stories and feet from Wanacue and not even talk about from the pond hole, or give two separate dimensions, or something. Like, for sure, the height is not just going to say 5 stories, because that's how it looks from the pond hole, because that will alarm people, and that's not really what the experience will be looking down the street.
Correct. Right?
Yeah.
Correct. And that goes back to the big project when it was presented. They were saying it was only 7 stories above, but it was 7 stories below also. So depending how you looked at it, it was 14 stories, depending on like how you approached it.
So, believe it or not, I'll concur with these 2 board members. If we can put those conditions in, I don't feel the need that they would have to come back. If we can get it, if we can get it firm that we're gonna be able to maintain the 10-foot, I would like a condition that, I would ask a condition to be added that they investigate the bump out, I will say only on Lakeside. And I think you're truly gonna be able to add 2 parking spaces further up Lakeside. Because you now know, you don't have the driveway for the ice cream station. I think you're gonna be able to offset 2 of the pond hole spots with 2 on-street spots. And I think that's gonna.
So if you ask them to do that and they don't come back?
I think if they can get, so I would say that we ask them to consider that, and that.
Again, they would have to work with our engineer and demonstrate that it can or it can't be done to our engineer's satisfaction.
Correct.
And I don't think that if it has to go to the county, that's gonna be an 18-month process, that we should require that.
Okay.
It wouldn't on Lakeside, I think that's what.
Yeah,
If that doesn't trigger that nightmare for you, I'm okay with that.
I understand the county.
So what I'm trying to understand, and I think I like it, what you're saying is, you're saying that there's enough space in the driveway of the ice cream station to bump out.
So, do we have,
I don't know.
I got it sketched up. Can we, you're on your Google Maps, can we?
Can you put
Bottom
up
line is,
Google Maps, or
if
is
you
that?
make that radius at the street, a tighter radius, that it kind of pushes, gives you more space on the street, on Lakeside, on this building side, to possibly squeeze in some parking spots.
I don't see any reason.
And it shortens the crossing distance. Listen, it's something that we'll be looking at in all of our safety programs,
Yep.
so.
Yeah, agreed.
Steve, I'm gonna ask you to list these, all these conditions.
Absolutely.
It looks like you're winning.
Yeah, so if you like drop a pin and like just go opposite and then look down the street. But you basically do exactly what we have on that side. Mirrored over on the other. We already have the on-street parking down there.
So we just bump it out a little bit?
You're saying to continue the park?
Probably continue the parking past where the ice cream station's current driveway is.
Right. And bump it out a little bit.
If you redo the radius at the corner, you might be able to get those
So-
couple extra parking spots in.
Any design or any touching of that radius, though, is gonna need county
That's
approval,
what I was
even if
just
it's
gonna say.
on Lakeside.
Well, that's why
It's affecting that whole, the whole radius, so.
That's why I commented about it not causing an 18-month delay.
All right, well, we're just gonna investigate it, and then you'll get back to our engineer.
Stormwater retention conditions.
Yeah, I would, that's
A
true, but I
stormwater.
would add also that they investigate, to the satisfaction of our engineer about the feasibility, stormwater retention under the building.
That's no problem.
And we'll know that this is done because of your communication with our professionals? If
Yeah,
that's the way we
You're not
go?
gonna vote to approve the actual redevelopment agreement until all these conditions have been satisfied by either Singham or your engineer.
And we will vote, if it goes the way that these 3 gentlemen have described, we'll vote without them here.
Well, yeah, what they're looking for is tonight to lock in what they presented with conditions.
Okay, with conditions,
But
okay.
that does not designate them as the redeveloper, because that will depend on those conditions being satisfied
And
by
then
your
who
engineer
will
prior to that.
decide that those conditions have been satisfied? Okay.
And then she'll give us a report back, and we would,
Prior to you
based
voting
on
on
her
the redevelopment
recommendation, we would concur that they have been satisfied,
Yep.
and we would vote on them.
because until you vote on that redevelopment agreement, nothing is good. They can't do anything.
Okay, so we also want to make sure that we don't forget about the garbage. Did we put that in it?
That's-
The
I
trash
have
and
it. I have it.
recycling?
I'm
you
gonna,
know.
after you're done, I'm gonna go through my list and
Oh,
you can
good.
fill in the
Okay.
gaps.
Can we also ask, we got renderings.
You can ask for anything.
We got renderings, what we're, I want to ask. We got renderings from the Wanacue direction with the current configuration. When we clip that corner, hopefully, without a column, we get a revised rendering. And then I think we also want a rendering at this corner. This is a huge opportunity for us because it's two major corners in town, right? So I think we want to see a rendering from, I guess, diagonally across, looking at this corner.
On Lakeside, Lakeside, the Colfax?
What it's going to look like on the Colfax.
Does anybody know what the process was with Lakeside Commons? Was it difficult for that?
Yes.
Oh, it was. Are you?
Well, it took a while from the pump house.
But
Yeah, but can
that's
we-
very different
It is different.
discussion because that was our property.
It was their problem.
And listen, maybe the answer is, you guys draw it up, show it on a plan. You get a credit from the town as your 2 or 3 additional parking spaces to be completed. Maybe it just goes in with striping for now, and the town puts it in our back pocket as a future streetscape improvement.
But I think the engineer is correct in that Randy's turn, the county, even though they're not gonna say they own their road, they're gonna be very concerned about anything you do right on that turn. And they're gonna be wanting to work the
Absolutely.
same.
But maybe this project starts with pavement markings.
Yeah, well, that.
Yeah.
And then the
Proceed.
county also is gonna perceive it a lot differently if the town is asking to do it as a town project.
No,
Than if the developers.
we tried that.
As a developer.
You almost made it worse.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh, figures. Okay. Mark? any-
Yes, I agree with the other 3 gentlemen
Okay.
down there as well.
Okay. So with the conditions,
Yeah,
okay.
to move forward with the conditions.
And Jason, how, your thoughts?
I agree with the conditions. I also agree with one of the statements you made where the 4th story, I feel still doesn't fit in our landscape. I don't know what the solve is for that, because obviously that changes the revenue of the project. And I also agree with Matt regarding, the feel of, I mean, you could see right from the picture there, how much of that ice cream station area corner is
So open.
Open space,
Yeah.
right? Or perceived as open space,
Right.
right? So,
It does change it.
yeah, it does. Outside of that, I do agree, and I would almost prefer to have them come back than just list the conditions, but if everybody else is going the other way, I'm okay to concede that.
Yeah. Well, we have 4-2
Right.
at this point, so, I mean, on a,
I think, right, or not, yeah, so.
What are your
You
thoughts?
know, yeah, I do go back. My stance is, I think what Councilman Bennett said, look, it's a blend of how we want to do our downtown, right? This is not, let's just build up, we're not becoming Morristown, we're not becoming Jersey City. But at the same time, nothing against the people that are sitting here, we want to update what we have in our downtown, it doesn't look so good. The longer it sits, the worse it's gonna look, there's no question of that. It's not like they're gonna pump in a lot of money to make it look better, okay? So if for some reason this project on their end or on our end, they walk away from it, we're gonna be stuck with that. And if someone walks away from the ice cream station and doesn't want to open an ice cream station there anymore, we're gonna have an empty building sitting in that open space, which is even gonna look worse. So, it's a hit and trade, but I agree with what everybody's saying. If they can do it conditionally through the engineering and through the planner, I'm okay with that. At the same time, I don't think they're here to fight us on anything. So I think if we make some good suggestions, they will look into it. So we should at least try that.
Okay, so you're concurring with?
Yeah, I think I am.
Very good. Okay, so then, do you want to go through the list of conditions? And
Go
everybody?
slow.
Yes.
Yeah, go slowly, please, because I'm going to.
So before we get to the conditions, the request is to approve the project as presented tonight and revised, subject to the conditions we're going to go through, and to authorize Mr. Brewer and I to negotiate a redevelopment agreement that upon satisfaction of those agreements, or those conditions, will be approved at a subsequent meeting.
Okay.
Those are the two asks.
Okay.
And that redevelopment agreement will include recommendations to the council to amend the redevelopment plan, to adopt a financial agreement, of which I will provide Mr. Dominic and Mr. Brewer the pro formas, and to recommend the easement to the pothole. The conditions that I have written down is that we will modify the corner at the intersection of Wanacue and Colfax to make it a curve on the street level to ensure 10-foot at that intersection radius. That we will have 10-foot sidewalks from curb to building, not to property line, but to building around. That we will, that in the event that we are going to allow non-residents access, which I don't think we are, we will add a secure door to all entrances to the building.
Hold on. All right.
That we will either revise the lower level so that there is room for a dumpster on our property, or we will revise our proposal to request an additional space in the pond hole for placement of a dumpster, which would also be in the easement area. That the building will be pet-free, or that a pet relief area will be provided. That the signage will have no backlights, but gooseneck lighting is permitted. That we will edit the rooftop plan to remove any overhang into the right-of-way if we conclude that we're not permitted to do so, or that will demonstrate to you that we can do it. We will install 2 feet of planters along the perimeter of the courtyard. That we will update the architectural renderings to show the new conditions at the angles that have been requested. And that we will, from an engineering perspective, review 2 issues and demonstrate to your engineer satisfaction whether we can or cannot. Number 1, install underground stormwater facilities for management operations, or install any parking along Lakeside Avenue on our side of the street without requiring county approval. Believe that identifies all of the issues.
So the one thing you said, I just want to verify that you said it, maybe you didn't mean to say. You said 10-foot sidewalk around the whole perimeter of the building, or just on the?
The street sides.
Street side.
Street sides.
No, but on the lake side, do you have 10 feet there?
That's what I mean, Bob, you can correct me, but I believe we have, with the 2 foot that we're adding, we have 10 feet, right?
Correct. On the lakeside side. I know you have it on Colfax, but on the lakeside you have it?
On the lakeside, right, Bob?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, what about the super? Were we gonna have a super or, yeah, or something to
You guys
that?
should discuss that.
Okay, so we were talking about having someone live there, or at least have somebody there
Office
during
there
office
for-
hours or what have you?
We would agree to modify the community, or to incorporate into the community center an area for management, a management office or station or desk or something, so that there's a location when management's on site to do lease-ups or meet with residents.
Do you want there to be management on site, or a place for management on site?
I think we want management on site.
At all times?
Not,
The building's way too small, they're gonna be.
well,
They're not
maybe,
saying all-
it
they're not
doesn't
saying
have to be
all
all times, but like at a specific
Well, that's what we're
time.
saying, yeah.
They'll be there like 9 to 5 or something.
No, I think it's
Or,
only 47 units.
Yeah.
It's not. I
So
don't know
what
they're
time
gonna
would
do
you,
all
what time would you?
Yeah.
They need to know what they're agreeing to.
Yeah, so what time?
I'm agreeing to have the area there for when they're there, but, I mean, I do management contracts that are portfolios for, multiple buildings, and depending on the unit, sometimes they're guaranteed to be there 10 hours a week, and they have office hours, and people know when they're there.
Okay,
But
so,
the mayor has identified that there are some issues. This is yours to approve.
Right.
So
What I'm
if you
gonna say,
believe they're
Rob,
necessary for some office hours,
Yeah,
you can make that a condition.
I'm gonna suggest that we say, and we're not telling you when, but a minimum of 15 hours a week
Mhm.
at their discretion of how, but that would have to be publicized to the residents so they know I can go on Tuesday at 4 o'clock and talk to them about a concern I have in the basement.
Right.
Either they're gonna fix it, I don't know if this management is hands-on kind of fixing, or they're gonna go hire people to do that. And at the same time, they could also lease apartments. If an apartment becomes available, they become a leasing agent also, I think could be part of that.
So Andy, my only concern with that is how is that enforced after the redevelopment agreement receives?
It's gonna be a conditional planning board approval.
And we did that with the other.
If you don't do it, then you're gonna be in violation of your planning board
Was
approval.
It was in the agreement.
What was it? Minimum hours?
Not minimum hour, it was a full-time.
Yeah.
It'd be it's planning board approval.
On the operations?
Like hours of operation, you gotta do it.
Yes.
It's not giving the hours, it's telling you.
If you consent to it, if this is a condition, it's a condition of the redevelopment agreement, and that you're gonna consent to 15 hours, or 12, or 28, or whatever it is, the number, if you're agreeing to that condition, it's a condition of approval on the planning board.
Yeah, I'm troubled just because things change. I mean, things are going so much digital. I mean, 20 years from now, we could be looking at a condition that, like, nobody has.
Yeah, I understand that, and maybe,
We could
You can
revisit
always
it.
amend your planning board approval.
Yeah.
They'll make it easy.
I'll tell you this, I think it's gonna carry some weight with the council. The council is gonna say, I like the idea that there's someone on there to be responsive. When we first opened Lakeside Commons, there was not somebody there initially, we had some issues. And then they brought in a management team, and it stayed, and everything went fine.
Yeah.
I also think a lot of the issues that the mayor's speaking of wouldn't go away with the digital age.
No.
So that's not gonna change over time. I agree with something maybe 15 to 20 hours a week, but it should be off hours, not during 9 to 5, because
Right.
people aren't home.
Right.
And if most of this building is residential, they need to be able to get to them. So maybe like a 4 to something, 4 PM on.
Or various hours, but that are
Right.
posted. Make sure they're
No.
posted.
Yeah, I understand your point, but
It's hard.
I'm not familiar with management companies who do it off hours. Like, if I need a plumber, I take off. Okay.
We'll post the hours.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Do you post the hours just so they know, or?
I would say-
We should
What,
dictate
something-
when the hours are. I
Yeah,
think that should be there on them. I don't think we should try to dictate
I
that.
would say this is a condition, so in between now and then, if you like 15 hours, they'll come up with details that'll make us happy
Okay.
in between now and
Well,
then.
I'm gonna say this, do we need to know, I mean, we're saying 15, say we say 15 hours. It's up to them to decide on 15 hours.
Okay.
Are we making, we're not saying that we want times on these certain days, or maybe we
No.
are, I don't know.
No,
think
you're
we
making it
should.
hard.
I need to revisit the sidewalk issue, because I was just reminded, and we did mention it before, Wanacue has to stay 8 feet, because that's in line with all the other buildings there. So it's 10 feet on Colfax and Lakeside, 8 feet on Wanacue.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
What drives it having to be in line?
You mean because of their foundations?
No, that's the
No.
street, that's the street
You're
wall.
just gonna have a
That's the
2-foot.
street wall.
It's a street wall.
Yeah.
Street wall.
You're,
You still
familiar
want
with
the
that
same
term.
line going down the whole street.
but you're saying, we're saying maybe you could just
Maybe that line needs to be
bump
10
it
feet.
2 feet.
Yeah, but then all this, everything has to change.
As they come in, they change.
Yeah, but that's never gonna happen.
But what does it matter if we have like
It's
that,
a corner.
that corner area 2 feet wider?
The corner we're fine with, it's
No, but that,
running rounds.
it's all part, I mean, like, is that gonna be an optic?
I think it's gonna look funny.
You think so? You think it would look funny?
I think that if you were going to, I think that 2 feet will look funny. I think that it either needs to align, or you need to have a significant setback with the plaza, or something like that. And we're not gonna get a significant setback with the plaza, so I think that
So where's the 10 feet, where's the?
alternative best option is
8
to
is on
align the
Wanacue.
street wall.
10 is on Colfax and Lakeside.
So can we just do a continuous taper? Like over the length of the building from
Oh, I see what you
From-
mean.
meeting at that alley to 10 feet?
Well, where does the chamfer start? On the corner? You're saying
So it would be
here's
like
a cut.
flare. It would be like a variable setback.
So you're
at that
saying,
corner.
like, then we're shaving some square feet off of the coffee shop? Is that what we?
Well, that's what we agreed
Something
to
has
do on the
something's
corner.
gotta give on that corner.
And then we're gonna do that that setback on the, so that we're starting to take a lot of square footage away, right? How much? We would be taking like 100 or 30 square feet, I
To
think.
look funny.
You've already got an odd angle there with
Yeah, I
the
agree.
retail. If you start making them increase that angle, I think it's
So
gonna,
how much are we stepping back that corner area, like
we're just cutting the corner.
cutting the corner? Are we
Well,
going
I'm not
2,
sure
3
at this
feet?
point, but
deep?
yeah, a couple of feet we would chamfer that, but I do agree, I mean, I think most urban downtown environments, you wanna hold that line. You know,
Okay.
there's a storefront line.
Or you do
To-
it in a
To
bigger
jog
way?
something back 2 feet wouldn't make sense, or even try to do a skewed angle, because everything else along Montague is you know, is
8
in
feet,
line.
okay. And so then, but Lakeside is 10 feet, and we are gonna take that, you said, I think, an arc or an arch, but it's gonna be more of a corner.
Well, it's a
Chamfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What he
Okay.
said.
Is
I
also
don't know how to spell
county
it.
road.
CH.
It's just like chopping off the corner.
Yeah, just, right, it's not gonna be rounded,
No.
it's just gonna be chopped.
Yeah.
And so there.
Which I think is a great improvement. I think.
Yeah, you know what, like, the old building does have, something like that, and you look at their entranceway. Okay, all right, so are you okay on that?
So I mean, that's a very, no, it's just, what the chamfer is and how that lays out is a very, that's a very, like, there's gonna be some nuance to that, right? So that, it would certainly be subject to, they're gonna have to give us what they're proposing, and we're gonna have to.
Well,
review
our
it with
proposal
permit.
was, when we started talking about it, it came up because we were showing 8-foot sidewalks at the time until you got to that corner, and then it was narrowed, and that's how the issue came up. What we're saying is we will increase that from the curb line to where the building's to be 10 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And whatever that ends
Understood.
up being
Understood.
to make that happen.
Understood.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Montague is a county road as well.
Wanacue County as well.
And just so I understand and we're all on the same page, the engineers are gonna, and the planners are gonna field the back and forth kind of stuff, and then it's gonna go to the board for final resolution that you've solved all these issues.
But they're also gonna be, those plans will be changed by then. These will be indicated. You'll have them when you're voting on them. Because
So that's what I was
they
making.
will have had to be satisfied, and
And
which
then
means
there'll
they'll
be
have
plans?
seen something that they're happy with, and that whatever that they're happy with will be part of, because it has to be attached to a redevelopment agreement anyway.
All right, so
Those
we'll
agreed
see
to
all that
plans.
on paper.
Yeah. They just won't have it, there won't be a need for anybody to show up.
Yeah.
It'll be done beforehand.
Okay, and then as far as access for retail to Pond Hole, you have to walk around to get
Yeah,
to.
that's an unfortunate, because of the, I think because of the height difference, right? This is really not much.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I think you're gonna
And-
complicate it if you try to bring it inside.
Yeah.
And then also to enter the private, you know, the,
He
The
said that
apartments-
if they have it, if there's access to other than residential, they're gonna have to add a door.
There's
a
already
security
fob
feature.
entry only.
okay, there's already fob entry only. And so do you want to put that, will there be access?
I think he mentioned
We,
that.
You
it
mentioned
was
that.
included.
Okay, good.
The one thing that didn't come up is the, parking entrance and exit, what is that? Is it gate, is it a fence, is it? Into the garage?
Garage door.
Garage,
Just
overhead door.
that everyone's fob will,
And is there any security gates on the windows of the retail? I mean, you don't have any, no.
I'm not proposing any right now.
Okay. Okay, and we have no backlights, okay, gooseneck. I think we have everything. Anybody else? Okay, I think we're good. Okay.
You good, man?
Because they are looking for a motion.
Okay, so yes.
Our
so-
recommendation of the easement?
Yeah, when you've done.
Yes, including being
included in the
amended per
redevelopment.
what we decide with the garbage.
Got it.
Okay, so who would, do
It'd be a motion to approve essentially the plans, which will be amended, subject to the give and take with the planner and the engineer, to their satisfaction. If so, they will be amended, they will be attached to a redevelopment agreement that is going to be negotiated in between now and the next time we're able to meet. Once that's done, that'll be on the agenda.
All right, you might have to help me with that.
What he said, yeah, what he said. I'll say what he said.
A resolution
Okay.
approving the plan subject to the conditions that were set forth on the record and allowing the negotiation of a redevelopment agreement to be presented to the
planner.
agency at the next meeting to be voted upon.
All right, so do you want, who wants to make that motion?
I will.
Okay, oh, wow, go ahead.
I make that motion.
Okay.
What he said.
Okay, anyone would like to second that, oh, thank you. Okay, and,
I'm sorry, who was second? I don't know. Okay, Evan.
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Just a point, we never opened it to the public.
Oh, I'm
did.
sorry, thank you for.
She did.
I did.
Earlier,
Oh, wait,
yeah.
You did, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I thought I had.
I
to
just
do
don't want
it.
a technicality.
Point,
Yeah,
you
you're
should
right.
did.
I want a technicality on this one.
That's fine. Okay, so, anyone opposed? Okay, so I think, we're done. Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sincerely. Thank you for all your time.
All right, thanks so much. And we'll, oh, so do we have a time frame on this? Like, when will we?
Can I note
Next
something?
meeting.
Yes.
He said it was gonna be a short meeting.
Yes,
You
he
did.
did say
You did.
that. It's all my fault.
How you coming in?
So anyway, but when do you think, how long do you think this will take?
The revised plans.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, because we're gonna have a short time for the next meeting, it's probably gonna be the June.
Well, some that Bob has to.
Well, they need time to review
First.
right?
Architecture
Yeah.
needs to be done first, and then the engineering.
So probably June meeting.
I'm thinking June.
Yeah.
2 to 4 weeks. We'll get it to.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be the June meeting, because this was 2 weeks into it, so it'll probably be June when everything's done.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, and thanks for doing the special meeting. Since
Okay.
we couldn't all do the last one.
Appreciate
You're welcome.
Dealing with the new board members.
Should I,
Yes, yes.
No.
One sec, one
Some of
sec,
this
one sec.
project.
should I wait on doing those amendments until you give me the green light?
No, you got the green light now. Anything that will comply with what they've done, I would say start from
Okay.
there.
You got it, Esther.
All right, thank you. Andy, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Oh, we have to-
Have a good
Really
night.
good.
Yeah, thanks for it, everybody did well.
We have more minutes.
Oh, we have to like close the meeting.
Yes.
Okay, so anyone, motion to,
Is there anything else on the agenda?
There's one more thing on the
oh, there is
agenda.
one more thing on the agenda. I don't even know what my agenda is anymore. Okay, let me see, unfinished business, right? Is that where we are?
So, the
Okay, so,
financials
yeah, the 2026 financials,
was due today, so if you didn't do it,
go home and do
you're
it.
gonna be getting a
Oh,
fine.
yeah, get them on.
Did it, so if you didn't do it, it doesn't take that long, just go home right now and do it.
If you've done it before, it's a quick.
It really, it doesn't take long at all. So much easier than you
Because,
think.
you're gonna get a letter.
Okay, ready? Okay, let's just close the meeting then, if we're done. Are we done?
Governor, you also have to do the training completed by May 31st,
Okay.
which I only got 3 people that did it.
So who needs, all of us need to do this training?
You,
It's stormwater training. It's exciting.
stormwater training. So Abby,
Yeah.
no, it was, Ken,
Yeah.
Matt, and Mark.
So they need to do it still?
No.
They did it, so we all need to do it?
Yes, you.
Okay. Oh, wow, okay.
I did it. Were the ones, names you said, were the ones that have to do it, or did it already?
No, you done
did
this
it.
already.
And we
Okay.
can just go online and do it?
Cool.
Yeah, I sent you the
You
link.
did? Okay.
I sent you a reminder as well.
You did, I did the financial, I didn't do that, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anything else?
And I just want to give you guys an update, because, you know, you've been part of this whole process. If you've driven by the Meridian Building, they got their signs up, they got their lights up, they're ready to open. I mean, I think they're gonna start trying to release out in August, September. They
Nice.
want to be the first one to open with all these other newer projects, so they're pushing really hard
Okay.
to open. As soon as they get to, you know, there's steps that set off the pilot agreement, but as they hit 20% or 40% or 30%, we start collecting more and more money on the pilots, so it starts kicking in. And I'm gonna tell you, there was a lot of noise about it, but I'm also getting a lot of compliments now on how the building looks.
Okay.
Especially with the setback open, and it's open up in the front and the windows and the nice retail that's going in. So I think people are, you know, it looked ugly, no question, when you were building it, it looked ugly.
Do you know what retail's going in?
What? I can't tell what the retail.
But there is retail going in? Okay.
They have stores.
Well,
That's for-
there is, you know, the issue right now is they need a liquor license, for the restaurant. The restaurant will only go in if they get a liquor license. We're in the process of trying to get them a liquor license. I'm gonna hold them firm though that, they have to put a restaurant in there. So that will be, it was part of the condition for the, so if they don't put a restaurant in, I'm gonna hold them till they can't open. Yes, I can't say once they open, they get a restaurant in there, they go away. There's not much I can do with that. But, you know, they're moving along. And just for purposes, the senior housing, has already got 15, vets in there, or signed up. and 22 Pompton residents who are seniors, out of 56 units. So we got about 50 of them already rented to Pompton.
So are they all, is it,
They're not in yet, they're gonna try to open again in September, but they put them on a list, they've gone through the vetting, and they're ready to go.
okay, so September for them, wow. Okay, good, nice update, thank you. All right, so, who would like to make a motion to, can I make a motion to
You can
adjourn?
vote.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Abby?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abby's never coming back.
I'm opposed.
You're opposed to adjourning?
All right, oh, boy. You know what, I just think I assumed I had already done the stormwater management. Nope. No, I haven't.